5:30. Please all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. Thank you very much. I'm going to say it once again. I love saying that, and thank you all for joining me. Before we get this council meeting underway, I would like to have Ryan Wallen from Cullinan Properties. He has an award to present to us tonight. I am so honored, and Mr. Wallen, I will let you have the floor. Uh-oh, make sure the mic is on.
How about now?
Perfect.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor Burris, members of the City Council, and the entire City of Pekin team. Thank you for having us here tonight. My name is Ryan Whalen, and I'm with Cullinan Properties. This is a proud moment for the city. East Court Village has been renamed the Redevelopment of the Year by CoStar Impact Awards. This is a nationally recognized honor in commercial real estate, highlighting projects that transform communities and drive meaningful economic impact. This award is based on nominations reviewed by a panel of industry professionals and market experts. They evaluate economic impact, community benefit, innovation and redevelopment, and long-term viability. This project took what was once an aging retail property and turned it into a thriving, modern retail and community destination. It reflects strong leadership, a willingness to evolve, and smart, forward-thinking decisions. Not every community is willing to make that shift, but Pekin did. This recognition puts Pekin on the map in a significant way. It validates the city's vision and the work behind it. It sends a clear message to the future tenants, investors, and partners that Pekin is a place worth investing in. Just as importantly, it matters to the people who live here. Residents now have better places to shop, dine, and spend time. They have more convenience without leaving their community, and a space that feels current, active, and welcoming. This project creates jobs, energy, and pride in the city. It's not just about the redevelopment, it's about improving everyday life for the people of Pekin. None of this happens without real partnership. The city of Pekin leaned in, collaborated, and made decisions that mattered. Thank you, Mayor Burris, and the City Council, and the city staff, and the entire Pekin community. You believed in what this could become, and it has. And this is only the beginning. This award recognizes what has been accomplished, but more importantly, it points towards what lies ahead. There is more coming, more opportunity, and more growth. This is not the finish line, it's a start of what's next for Pekin. On behalf of Cullinan Properties, it's an honor to present the plaque to the city of Pekin. This recognition belongs to all of you. Congratulations again, and we're proud to be your partner and looking forward to what comes next.
Thank you so much. We
Thank you.
appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Isn't this nice, everyone? He shut it off for me there. Our second one, I would like to, Mr. Roger Brotherton to come up to the podium. He has done so much with his business that it is just developing and growing, and I'm looking forward to what he has to say about where it's come from to where it is and what he's going to add. Mr. Roger Brotherton.
Thank you. I want to recap, about a month ago, the television station WTVP, which is a PBS affiliate, the producer contacted me and asked me if I'd be interested in doing a segment on the Franklin School building and the museum, which I accepted, and they did a segment that turned out very, very well. I didn't realize they contacted 390,000 households in 17 counties in Illinois, which is a lot of people. And I think I talked to 385,000 of the households, but it was a very good response. They've reached out. It was just tremendous, the amount of people that want to come see and come to Pekin. The overall viewing was from organizations to businesses to schools to it was just overwhelming and really kind of neat. The one that I'm working with now and communicating with, Bradley University, I've spoken to. They have a continued education program there and learning that goes on beyond the college level, middle-aged to elderly. They do field trips, and so we're going to line that up and work with them on that to where they come down. It's usually a bus of 28 people. They come down for a tour, spend a half a day, go to lunch, and make a day out of it. That's going to be fun. That's headed our way in the near future. But I just wanted to give you a recap of how it went. It was overwhelming. It was really neat to see that many people interested in coming to Pekin. And I'm going to try to do my best. It's going to be a busy summer, but I'm going to do my best to get them all through, all that want to come. Moving along with that, we've got an event planned for May 23rd. I want to make sure everybody's aware of that. We're going to do another cruise-in car show down on the river. It's called Cruise In on the River. Had a lot of response from neighboring communities that want to partake in that as well. Last year's was amazing how full it was. We filled up all of Front Street, all the side streets. It opened at 11. We probably had 200 cars there by 11 by the time we opened. We're expecting more than this year. We'll beat the last year's. We'll have a food court, a band. There's going to be T-shirt giveaways for the event. I'd like to thank Mark at the T-shirt house for helping us out with the space as far as that. And then also I want to thank Randy from Schnucks, the manager there. Schnucks stepped up on last year, and they've already come forward on this year wanting to help and assist in any way they can, which is kind of neat. And I'd like to thank the 20-plus people that volunteered last year that made the event a success, and they've already volunteered again this year, and then I've had another 10 that's come forward. So it's neat to see people want to come and partake in the event, and it'll be a good time. Other than that, I just wanted to invite council, mayor, and staff to the event, the 23rd of May. It'll be from 10 till 3. So come on down, bring a lawn chair, enjoy the band. We're going to do some parking on the south end of Pekin Alignment Auto Body, the two fields there. We're having to adjust some parking areas because of the construction. Excuse me. And but we're going to do public parking there. All the vehicles will enter on Broadway Street and come down, and then we will park them accordingly. So I'm hoping to see you all there. If anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
I have a question.
Okay.
Your next project.
I'm working on, actually, thank you. The Tharp cabin was originally on the school property on the northwest corner of the building. I'm trying to recreate. I've been acquiring the materials over the winter, but I'm going to try to recreate a Tharp cabin. There's no known pictures. There's a lot of references, and I've talked to some of the Tharp family. So I'm going to put that together hopefully this year, and we'll be able to see the original cabin to the city of Pekin down on the riverfront, where it originated, within a block of where it originally was built. So I'm gonna do my best to get that up this year. Got a couple other projects going on down there. It'll all, just depends on how far I get, on this cabin and some of the other events. This television program is really gonna keep me busy. Literally 7 days a week for the whole summer if I want it, but it was neat. I'm looking forward to it, though. I enjoy meeting the people and sharing the community with them, so it'll be a good time, so.
Just about any little piece of history, it's at his museum that Pekin has. It's at your museum.
Okay, I'm assuming everybody knows, but they don't, okay, but it's a museum. This is the 30th year I've had the building. I've done the museum for 25 years. It's about a 2-hour tour to come through. Some of the things I'll tell you what you could do, and this is my new thing, since they did this television program, you can actually Google Brotherton Museum, WTVP, and there's actually a segment on it. You can see the segment. The show is called You Gotta See This, and WTVP puts it on. But the main thing is they tour Central Illinois, and they pick up different interesting spots, and then they'll do a segment on it, and they'll put them all together and make a half-hour show out of it. The show we were on it went all the way down to Arthur, Illinois, had a Amish school museum they're building. But if you just want to cut to and see what's down there, they did an excellent job. So WTVP, they couldn't have been a better. I learned a lot on the filming of that. They were there 4.5 hours for a 6-minute segment. But so there was a lot of editing, and it was fun. It was a learning experience for me, and I enjoyed it. They got a little bit of everything in it, but in the basement there's actually a gas station, a barber shop, a diner, a movie theater, a barber shop, a toy store, probably 40+ mannequins, all period correct clothing. A lot of detail. No matter what age groups comes through, they touch on something that they grew up with. And I have a lot of family reunions, class reunions, business groups, church groups. It's just unlimited. I've been doing it for 25 years now, so I don't think there is anything that hasn't been through. But it's been fun. So I think that covers what. But yeah, right now I'm trying to coordinate all the response, and I'm trying to get groups together and coordinate tours for the rest of the summer. But it'll be fun, and I'll keep you posted on how this plays out, as far as all the tours, and I'll try to keep a count and stuff of people that come through for references.
Excellent. Roger,
Okay, thank you
very, very much.
Thank you. Thanks to everybody.
Here's a city coin.
Oh, well, thank you, Mary.
Staff and myself.
Okay.
We appreciate everything you've done for our beautiful city.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
What a couple positive notes to start our evening out with. Thank you so much. I don't know if I should do roll call first. Yeah. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Councilmember Phillips.
Aye. Here.
Councilmember Fletcher.
Here.
Councilmember Netter.
Here.
Councilmember Hills.
Here.
Councilmember Abel.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Hoheimer.
Here.
And Mayor Burris.
Here. Having a quorum, we will conduct business. Chair would entertain a motion for the approval of the agenda, please.
Madam Mayor, I move that we approve the agenda as presented.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to ask that we move agenda item 10.4 to above 10.1.
Do we need a second first?
Second.
Motion was made by Ms. Phillips and second by Mr. Abel. And then Ms. Hoheimer is asking that 10.4 be above 10.1. Anyone have any, pardon me?
Sorry, I'm sorry. So Councilmember Phillips made a motion.
Correct.
Councilmember Hoheimer asked to amend the motion which Councilmember Abel seconded, correct?
I thought he seconded just the motion, but you think he second to amend it?
I think he seconded, well, it was never perfected,
Correct,
so.
right.
All right, so then Councilmember Phillips made a motion, which Councilmember Abel
Seconded.
seconded.
And I had said, you might not have heard me, I think we need a second first.
Got it, I'm sorry, Mayor,
That's
I
all
did
right.
not hear you. So we would then vote on that motion, or we
And
would
then
amend it,
Karen's.
and then we would have, Mayor Pro Tem
Perfect.
amend it, yeah.
Okay.
All right. You want me to vote on without the amendment? Yeah,
We could do it at one of two things. We're going to do it this way.
Okay.
Does anyone object to, Madam Chair, if you could ask the council member if they would object to the amendment as presented?
Does anyone object to the agenda as presented?
No, object to Karen Holheimer's amendment to Peg
Sorry about
Phillips'
that.
motion, which was seconded by Councilmember Abel.
Does anyone object to the amendment from Ms. Hoheimer?
All right, there's, Madam Clerk, record in the minutes that there is no objection to the amendment as presented.
Correct.
So now the amended, and of course, for the record, Councilmember Phillips did not object to the motion being amended.
Correct.
All right, so she assents to it. So the amendment has been assented to under Robert's Rules of Order. So now, as amended, if we could restate that amendment for Madam Clerk and the minutes and the attendees, what would that amendment be? Just to make sure we're all clear on the same page.
Madam Mayor, I would like to amend the agenda to move new business 10.4 to above 10.1.
And so that was what the understanding was for everyone, and we're going to make that change because there was no amendment. Now, we do need, Madam Chair, a vote on that motion as amended by consent of the board.
Correct. All right.
Thank you. Sorry about that, Madam
It's
Chair.
all right. We get it all. Council, take your vote to the amendment. It's the little things that become so
I
confusing.
think we agreed on the amendment, so we're just voting on the whole agenda as amended.
As is. Mhm. Motion passes 7-0. Chair would entertain a motion for the approval of the minutes, please.
Madam Mayor, I move that we approve the minutes for the City Council special meeting budget work session from March 19th, 2026. Can I do them both? And item 4.2, the regular meeting minutes of March 23rd, 2026.
Second?
Motion made by Ms. Phillips and second by Ms. Hoheimer. Any questions, comments, or concerns of the approval of the two minutes? Seeing none, council, take your vote, please. Motion passes 7-0. We have now come down to public input, but before we get started, I have a few things that I would like to say, along with, I believe, some council members would also like to say a thing or two in regards to our public comment. Public comment, and this is in our city ordinance. Public comments are limited to no more than 5 minutes per person and no more than 1 hour per meeting, unless extended by consent by the majority vote of the members present. The presiding officer and his or her designees shall monitor each speaker using the time and shall notify the speaker when their time is allotted and expired. We do that except limit it to an hour, so I need to bring this ordinance forward. Also, in the presiding officer can recognize that no more than 20 people desire to speak, he or she shall limit each speaker to comments or for no more than 3 minutes. Or if there is a group wishing to speak, they can have a spokesperson. And we can get everyone a copy of that ordinance if anyone would like. But I believe that we have other council members that would like to say something at this time.
Thank you. This is going to go into effect next meeting, not this meeting. We want to make everybody aware of what the ordinance is, and out of respect of all the things that we have to review and everything during a meeting, and tonight is a good example, probably the best example. 17 agenda items, executive session, and votes afterwards. We put in the time. I don't have a problem with putting in the time at all. But we need to kind of get everything under control. And I'm not picking on the data center because there could be stuff out there for items coming up in the future. But please give some consideration. If you have a spokesperson, contact that spokesperson. If there's new information that all of a sudden none of us had any information about and want to bring it forward, I think that's great. The more input we have, the better off we are as an informed council to make a decision on important things like the data center. But there's other items that possibly could come up. That's why I don't want to focus just on the data center. So that's why this was read, to give everybody a heads up that the subsequent meetings, we have an ordinance to cover that, so we didn't want anybody offended. I hope we don't, because we've gotten along really well. Everybody has been congenial. There has been a lot of positive comments. So that's what I have to say on that.
And before I let another one speak, I do want everyone to know that we have heard your voice. We have listened. I just felt it was time to now let's move our city forward. Let's all work together, and we are trying our best to get through some very long agendas. We are wrapping up a year, and we've got some every meeting is important. Everything we vote on is extremely important, but we've got a lot going on this time of year. So we do need to move the city and move these meetings along. So I think we have some other council members.
Hi, everybody. I am sorry that I was sick at the last meeting. My staff made me go to the doctor, and they took me. And I told the doctor, I said, I've got a council meeting tonight. She goes, that's too bad, you're not going. But I wanted to share, since I didn't have a chance at last week, that I know everybody's anxious, and I know that people are worried about something going on forward with the data center, that it's going to be snuck in behind your backs when you're not looking. And I want to assure you that the council's not going to do that. We've heard you. And as a community, we get to decide how that property is going to be zoned. And there are issues, there was a resolution, there was a call to do this, there was that. It's contract law. And under contract law, we can't just all of a sudden jump up here and say we're going to vote against this thing on some vote that it would violate the contract. And I've had a couple law classes, so that makes sense to me. But ultimately, it has to go through the zoning board before anything is done with that property that can go forward. And we're not going to. We, as a community, have made it clear that that's not the vision we have for that property. So I don't want you to worry about it. And I know a lot of you have come here to remind us that you still don't think it's a good idea. And I think that generally that is the assessment of the community. There's no arguing with the fact that we don't think it works here. And quite frankly, I'm pleased. There is a nationwide push. These moratoriums are gaining ground, and I think that the communities are going to hold the oligarchs responsible for learning how to do this in some kind of way that's not environmentally catastrophic. But I do want to remind everyone that we create the demand. And every time we use AI, there is no cloud. Everything that we store in the cloud is in somebody's backyard. And the only way we're really going to stop these things is if we change our behaviors. That's Aunt Peg's little lecture on that. But take a deep breath. It's not going to happen. It's up to us. You, us, we, us, all of us. And we know this isn't right for us. Maybe 10 years from now, they'll figure out how to make these things neutral and beautiful, and we'll be begging them to bring their money here, but they haven't done it, and nobody's begging them. So I would like to ask, how many of you came here just to let us know that you don't think the data center needs to go forward? Raise your hands. Madam Clerk, would you make a motion that I'd say at least half of the crowd, over half of the crowd,
3/4.
is here to let us know not to do that? And so we do know, I promise, that we've got your backs on this one. It's not going to happen. And I beg you, if all you did was come to say that again, can we keep it short tonight? Can we do it by the hand raising? If you have new information about it, then come up and speak. But otherwise, I'd like to run along as quickly as we can. On a personal note, I'm got a lot of work to do in the next 54 hours before the midnight deadline for taxes. And I know we'll probably be here till midnight as it is. So thank you all for coming. I appreciate your community involvement. And I hope that somebody feels a little bit better. I know you don't trust us, but all we can do is show by our actions that we mean what we say. Thank you.
Mr. Hilst, did you have anything? Floor is now open to public comment. Anyone wishing to hear their voice be heard? You have 5 minutes. Make sure the mic is on. It is.
Nope, green.
There we go.
Douglas Aerosmith, a solid waste employee, 27 years. It's ARROWSMITH. I'm just here to ask you to vote yes on rejecting the bid from GFL. Because if you're smart and you looked at it and read it, there is no savings. There is no savings to the city, the citizens, or the community. And if you did vote for it, you would just be giving a monopoly to GFL, which in the end would not bode well for the next contract coming up. So, like I said, I'm here to ask for your support in voting no to the bid and rejecting it, or yes to rejecting the bid. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Jay.
I'm surprised. We're going to start following a code in the code book. That's amazing. And we can start following some of the others. Anyway, hello. I'd like to share a question I once heard Dr. Rick Rigsby say. Is your servant's towel bigger than your ego? I stand here tonight to address critical issues that demand immediate attention. At the last council meeting, we the people delivered a clear message that we wanted the city manager terminated, the city attorney released, and the mayor censored for her blatant political stunt. These calls are not made lightly, but stem from a sense of betrayal and mismanagement concerning the Ludekin property. The proposed budget is nothing more than an illusion. It's filled with overinflated numbers designed to facilitate the redirection of funds for undisclosed purposes, also known as fluid. The budget is fluid. This is a common practice at City Hall and is unacceptable. Also, to schedule a public hearing and budget approval in the same meeting is an insult. It demonstrates a lack of respect with the clear intention to silence the public to go along with the little message before public input started. So, good job. Our community needs transparency and accountability, not financial trickery. Let's not forget the absence of adequate funding for the ADA upgrades our town needs. It's your duty to ensure that every resident, regardless of ability, has equal access and opportunity. Neglecting these upgrades is not only a disservice, but a violation. I urge you to reconsider this budget and prioritize the needs of our residents. And with another quote from Dr. Rick Risby, ego is the anesthesia that deadens the pain of stupidity. So, since I'm not going to be here for the budget public hearing, I got a couple minutes left. From what I see, solid waste owes the general fund about $2.7 million. How did this happen? What is being done to fix it? And what will be put in place to ensure it doesn't happen again? The budget you guys are going to be voting on tonight is not a balanced budget. There's a lot of red in it, and I'm sure you'll have some good excuse as to why. But I'm going to tell you right now, it's not a good budget, and you need to vote no for it. Because, one, they never made any cuts. It's just more. So I look forward to your answers. Hopefully somebody will answer my questions that I have. I'll go home and watch it on YouTube the rest of the night. Enjoy.
Your AI.
Hello.
Hello.
Zoe Carter.
Zoe, how are you tonight?
Yes, I'm doing great.
Good.
So I wanted to kind of start off real quick, and I do want to bring up the data center just really quick. You all know, obviously, our position on that. What I would like to see, and I'm sure a lot of other people would like to see, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but right now you're kind of fighting with the legal aspect of it.
Correct.
Why don't we look into doing a moratorium on it? From what I understand, and again, please correct me if I'm wrong, if we vote on a moratorium to pause any data center construction, that pauses any sort of legal anything legally that, you know, either suing the city or suing anyone else, put a moratorium in for 2 years, 5 years, whatever it may be. And that way, you know, we know that it's not going to go in at that time. And then, you know, so again, I think that personally, I think we should look into that. And again, correct me if I'm wrong, if that is not how that works. I'm a Google scholar, so. I want to kind of make this very short and sweet too. I want to kind of do a little bit of positive because there has been a lot of negative, and it's
Yay.
very much, you know, the data center, and I will talk until I'm blue in the face on how terrible of an idea it is. But I also want to, I like having positivity in my life. I enjoy my community. I enjoy my city. I'm proud of my city. And I'm proud of the things that we've done. Anywhere from the CoStar Award that we got to yesterday we had a community cleanup day. We went around and cleaned up downtown, and it was wonderful. Mary Haynes from Maddie Mays hosted us and had cake and drinks, and it was just wonderful. You know, I plan on doing another one of those, so anyone is invited to come. I plan on doing one of those a week before the 23rd, because I didn't know about the cars thing, but I know there's the catfish thing going on, and we're gonna be cleaning up the riverfront. So I definitely invite all the council members out and the community out to help clean up the riverfront on May 17th.
I love hearing that.
Yep. Other than that, that's all I gotta say.
Okay.
Definitely look into a moratorium. I think that is,
Can I
Yeah.
answer her,
Yeah.
or do I, do I not? Are you done speaking? First of all,
I am
you've got
done
2
speaking,
minutes.
yes.
We have spoken of that.
okay,
It's just, I just don't know what more to say.
Yeah, no.
We have spoken of it.
okay, thank you.
Hold on just 1 second.
So any moratorium for land use controls or business licenses would go through a public hearing process?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Any moratorium for land use controls or business license would need to go through a public hearing process. It would need to be properly filed pursuant to the city code, which we always follow.
Yeah.
And ensure that it goes through the same vetting process like any other land use control, such as an applicant that would come in for something. So a moratorium means a stoppage while a study is ongoing. The key about moratoriums are, when I do them, you do a real study, and you say these are the things, you find facts of why we're learning about this thing to make a further decision about this thing. So that is, that there is no application for a moratorium on anything pending, I think. I don't think we have any moratoriums pending.
Yeah.
But it would just be processed just like any other land use thing. We could get voted up or down and then denied one way or the other.
It's just all about timing too, right at the moment. We're trying to,
Land use is all about timing. It's true.
okay. I just wanted you to know that we have not ignored anything. Okay. Sir, I'm so sorry we kind of
Oh, you're
interrupted
fine.
you a moment there.
You're just fine. Adam Rogers. The last time I was here, I was encouraged to gather more data on my idea for a community grocery store for Pekin South End, and I have returned to share my findings. My research has concluded that this project is not viable for Pekin to initiate at this time for two main reasons. The first is that the public focus remains squarely on the issue with Western Hospitality Partners at Ludekin Farms. A community grocery store is a project that would require massive public involvement, not just input. We would need people to actually put their money where their mouth is and buy memberships on a massive scale for this to work. Until this data center issue is resolved, this project, or indeed many public projects, will be unable to gain sufficient traction. The second, my research into the Derby and Cook Street corridors shows a lack of compatible infrastructure. While 1105 Derby is a logical site, and that's the old Save-A-Lot, the projected acquisition and development costs under current ownership structures would likely be prohibitively expensive for a community-driven model. My recommendation is thus: we must prioritize the swift and decisive resolution of the Ludekin Farms matter, not just for the sake of that project, but because the uncertainty surrounding it is holding the rest of Pekin's development hostage. Let us clear the air so that we can return to the business of building a sustainable future for our neighborhoods. And with that, I would like to yield the rest of my time to the council if they should like to ask any questions.
Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Rogers?
Just a comment. Thank you for bringing that back.
Yep.
Number one, because I did the same thing you did and found out the exact same results that you had. I didn't respond yet because I figured you'd be here tonight, so thank you for that. It's a worthy cause, but boy, the more I dug into it, it's like, wow, there's a lot of hours, a lot of commitment, a lot of.
I exhausted myself for about 2 weeks on this
I
project.
bet you did.
I would really, really urge the council to look into who owns that property and their past business practices, specifically what they did at the Twin Towers in Peoria, as well as other retail locations. They like to let these places sit until they can get grants out of you.
Okay.
Now, that's all I want to say because I don't want to get sued.
We appreciate that. Thank you so much.
So, one last thing, I really would urge the council to reach out to ICC about the potential use of the Ludekin Farm site for a campus there. I know that back when the West Campus got demolished, they were very interested in putting in a campus, a large-scale campus here in Pekin. They may be very interested in that still. It could be very, very productive use of your time.
Well, since you still have time, you know, back in 1967 or 68, ICC wanted to come to Pekin, to downtown Pekin here. And the council and mayor at the time I believe it's in writing, that
Yeah.
they didn't want those long-haired hippie people in our town. And
think that
look
was
at
a
ICC now today. It's
Yeah.
a beautiful campus, and I'm sure that we are very, very sorry that it never did. Now, we do have a campus here out on
Yeah.
Hannah Drive.
Yeah,
It
I
just
think-
needs
I just think that
expanded.
campus is a little bit limited, you
Yeah.
know? It's very limited in what they can do there. It's more industrial focused.
It
And
is.
I think we need something that's more academic, and I think the proximity of the wildlife sanctuary at McNaughton Park would make a wildlife and conservation campus absolutely a no-brainer.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And Mr. Rendelman, is there not certification classes out there for firefighters or something at ICC? I thought there was.
At the
Yeah.
Beacon campus,
Yeah.
more than half of the fire science classes are taught there, all the hands-on classes and a couple classroom as well.
So it has grown.
Yeah.
It's not just industrial, it has
Okay.
grown. But I appreciate what you do have to say, and it's an outstanding suggestion.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you. I'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Hi,
Hello.
I'm Lynn Bindfor. I'm not spelling it for you, just put Lynn. Again, I'm here asking the council to please keep our waste department in-house. To my understanding, the GFL are saying they believe they can save us money. 10K a month sounds good. But when you do the math, 12K accounts divided by 10K means we're gonna save about 85 cents a month, or about $10 a year. That's gonna be for our first, time that you guys signed the deal with them?
I believe
Okay.
it was 75 cents, so you're pretty doggone close.
For that, we give up any control of our basic service. Then the citizens would have no one local to hold accountable. Also, there is $10 item bulk. I've been told that GFL wants $40 for one item for bulk. That is a big expense. So, the sticker thing goes away, and so we can expect more crap in the ditches or dumped next to any commercial dumpsters, which I believe our council has been doing a great thing on cleaning up some of these old houses
Thank you.
and trying to make our city look better.
Thank you.
That is a big thing. I've seen it, and they go down fast, the houses do. So once we lose this department, we're not ever gonna get it back. It's gonna take too much money. We've already did it once within the city, and we found out then that it was costing the taxpayers too much money. So we end up bringing it back in-house, and I hope that it stays there. I don't see a benefit at all after the pennies GFL's savings is unsure of. Who will be picking up the Christmas trees? Cleaning up the tent cities? Who will clean up our storm debris? Is JFL gonna come in and do it? Are they gonna charge us extra? Or are you guys gonna have to hire the city guys to go out and do that? And then they're gonna be at all that overtime you was talking about a couple meetings ago. As Pekin's cleanup, as Pekin has in the past, will GFL be willing to work with our city in an emergency? Restarting this service from scratch is gonna be way too expensive, and I hope you guys keep it in-house. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Ethan. I am a member of Workers Strike Back. I'm going to start by saying I think that it is cowardly and despicable that the Democrats and Republicans on the City Council would bend their knees to big business and attempt to limit public comment when working people are furious at the proposed data center. It is shameful that council members will blame individuals' behaviors for why a data center is coming here. Week after week, people of Pekin and in the surrounding communities have shown up en masse to city council meetings to demand that council members not allow Western Hospitality Partners to build a data center here in Pekin. Due to this massive pressure from the working class movement that is being built in Pekin and the surrounding cities, Mayor Burris read a statement in one of the meetings last month indicating that council would not go through with the data center project. That very same meeting and in every one that has followed, the movement of ordinary working people has demanded that we do not just want words, we want action. At the beginning of the last meeting, the city attorney made a statement pushing council members into accepting the proposal by highlighting the potential legal reprisals against members if the proposal was rejected in the wrong way. These sentiments were seconded by the city manager. As working people, we should reject this undemocratic behavior by the city attorney and city manager on behalf of tech billionaires. This is a classic example of how capitalists and the billionaire class and the politicians beholden to them will use every tactic they can think of to push through their agenda while ignoring the average worker. Any and every elected representative that reverses their decision to cancel the data center should be thrown out of office. We cannot put 1 ounce of faith into the Republican or Democratic Party. We need a new party for working people. The AI data center boom is now so massive that it's visible from space. One data center campus can demand more than 500 megawatts of electricity. That's as much as hundreds of thousands of American homes. Many of these data centers use over 100,000 gallons of water per day. Greenlighting this project will be detrimental to working class people in Pekin and everywhere. It will accelerate the cost of living crisis faced by working class people and take the environment down with it, which is why we are calling for all utilities to be taken into public ownership, controlled and run by a Democratic Committee of Workers. There is an urgent choice before council. Side with the tech billionaires and the lawyers, or side with the working class people who elected them. You are either with the ordinary working people, or you are for the tech billionaires. This is why I'm a member of Workers Strike Back, a nationwide organization that is mobilizing working people for an independent fight back against both parties of Wall Street, the Democrats and the Republicans. This is why we are supporting Shama Sawant's Independent Socialist Campaign for U.S. Congress. During her decade on the Seattle City Council, Shama won the nation's highest minimum wage and defeated billionaires to win the Amazon tax. We need that kind of fight back in Congress, and we need that kind of strategy here in Pekin. I urge all workers and young people listening, either here or in person, or either listening in or here in person, to join Workers Strike Back to fight the bosses and the capitalists. Down with the Republicans and Democrats. We need a party of the working class. Solidarity.
Ethan, what was your last name?
Wieland.
What is it?
Wieland.
Wieland? Like W-I-E-L-A-N-D?
That's correct.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Greg Hansen. So I'll modify my comments. I came to Illinois in 2006. It was a remarkable day, January 16th. Remarkable because when I left Buffalo, New York, it was 62 degrees. And it stayed that way all the way till I got to Champaign that night. Now, when I got out of Champaign, it was 32 degrees, and there was an active ice storm all the way to Peoria. I should have taken this as an omen, a warning, turn around, go back. But I didn't. I kept coming, not because I was moving here, but because I was coming to talk my kid's mother into coming back to New York with our, at the time, infant daughter. It was 11 years before I saw Buffalo again. I lost everything I ever owned. I lost an amazing 6-figure job where I dressed like these guys at work. I lost a great life where I was a part of everything in the city. I even hosted a cable access talk show. I mean, everybody knew me. I have one friend now. But it was tough. In 2005, I made $112,000. In 2006, I made $18,000. And that's pretty much the way it stayed for the next 7 years. It was not easy. We struggled. I mean, we never were homeless, but there were times we probably should have been. Eventually, landlords get tired of you not paying the rent and they kick you out. Actually, there was a time when I stole food just so we could eat. My kid's mother and I broke up, and I knew at the time I was stuck here. I was very depressed. Things were not easy. I had utilities on in relatives' names without their knowledge. And then 2013, Dish Network came along and gave me a job. And 2014, I made enough to escape Peoria and come to Pekin, where I rented one of those hundreds of slab houses that were built in World War II that had 3 bedrooms so that when I had my kids, they had their own room. And I worked my butt off 6 days a week to try to make enough money to get out of there. In 2020, I bought a home. A lot of you guys know where I live, up on Sheridan Road. It's a great neighborhood. It's a great home, by my standards anyway. But I learned a very valuable lesson, and that was no matter what you're up against, no matter what decision you have to make, no matter what you're doing, do the right thing. That's what I teach my kids. One of them listened. That's how I live my life. That's how I approach my job. Always do the right thing. So yes, we do believe that there is still some backdoor subterfuge trying to bring this data center here. But I'm not going to attack that directly because there's a lot going on in the city. And all I'm going to say is that no matter what you guys do the right thing. Now, I'm not from Pekin, and I don't plan on dying in Pekin. These people that I'm standing with probably care less about my life than I care about theirs. But joining in the fight was the right thing to do. And if there is some underhanded, backdoor way that somebody might be trying to bring a data center here, I just have one question for you people. At what cost? At what cost? Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Amy.
Who are you?
I'm Amy McCoy with the Pekin Area Chamber of Commerce, and also I'm going to speak on behalf of the Tourism Committee. I'm here to speak in support of item 9.2, the resolution approving the fiscal year 2027 tourism event sponsorships. The Tourism Committee reviewed the sponsorships, and there are 11 that we have recommended for annual funding for the year. Many of these events are offered in the community annually. They are long-time, decades-old events, some of them for young children, some of them for families, but certainly all of them for the Pekin residents. And many of them, we strongly encourage and invite members of the region and throughout the state to attend as well. I want to speak specifically, of course, regarding the 2 events that I manage through the Chamber of Commerce, the Pekin Marigold Festival and the 4th of July celebration. The city's partnership, first of all, I want to thank you for your support and partnership over the years for those events. The city's support and partnerships help us keep these cherished community traditions possible and reflects your commitment and ours to events that enhance the quality of life in Pekin. Both the Honor America celebration and the festival, the Marigold Festival, remain our community's most anticipated, largest annual events, bringing together residents and attracting visitors from throughout the region. We are looking forward to celebrating America's 250th with the 4th of July celebration. And also we'll be celebrating crowning our 50th Miss Marigold. So a couple of exciting events that will be featured this year. The respective committees for both of those events meet year-round, and the countless volunteers are ready to make this year another great year. I mentioned that these events and the other events on the sponsorship docket are certainly events that our families can enjoy in Pekin, and those events truly make Pekin a great place to live and to play. The events, in addition to that, the events, particularly the Pekin Marigold Festival, supports local businesses by bringing visitors to our hotels, our restaurants, gas stations, and more as they spend the weekend with us celebrating and enjoying our community. The opportunity, the festival is also an annual opportunity for the nonprofits in our community to raise funds and awareness for their own organizations through the festive foods and the community spotlight areas. Both events are an opportunity to showcase Pekin as a vibrant and welcoming destination while fostering community pride and togetherness. As we begin planning, I respectfully request that both of these events, as well as the other events on the docket, be approved. And we would very much appreciate your continued support for these events. It's truly an honor to bring them to Pekin. I have the best job in Pekin. I get to cheerlead and enjoy, things like these events every single day. And so I'm thankful for that every day. Certainly love my job and appreciate the partnership and the collaboration.
We appreciate you and your hard work as well, Amy. Thank you so much.
Hello, Mark Stevens, M-A-R-K-S-T-E-V-E-N-S, resident of Pekin. Council, Mayor Pro Tem, as I get more comfortable with the flow and the rules of the city meetings, much to Councilmember Phillips and Nutter, I am trying to be brief, factual, and respectful. I love that we can have different views, different context, ideas, and even different ways of expressing them. I'm glad that the Mayor Pro Tem, Council, and city staff try their hardest to listen and understand on what can be long nights. As a child, raised on Seinfeld, one of my favorite characters, Frank Costanza, celebrated Festivus. And he always said that it starts with the airing of grievances, but that is not my goal tonight. Tonight I want to start by thanking Mr. Dabrowski, Mr. Ray, I'm going to butcher his name, Fire Chief Reese, did I get it right? Sweet. And Deputy Chief Rindleman, as they all went out of their way to engage with me at the last meeting and help me understand some clear blind spots that I had on how our city works. I can only hope that we as a city continue to grow in that spirit. Maybe one day I'll understand what it's like to be on the other side of this very microphone. But until then, it will be my goal to speak with great respect, heart, compassion, and facts from this side of the microphone. To the meat and potatoes, if you will be so gracious. On the agenda tonight is item 13.2, a purchase of more city land. Tonight I would ask the council to delay the purchase of that land due to price. I personally believe that the seller is inflating the value because they know the city's intent. A recent sale of 14.5 acres of prime tillable farmland just went for $17,300 per acre. That property exists on the corner of 14th and Veterans, and it produces income and has tangible return on investments. This proposed agreement in front of the city tonight is at over $25,000 an acre and will require significant more work to develop while also allowing timber access to what I can only imagine will benefit the seller. While this does meet a strategic goal for the city, I believe it is more responsible of the city to just wait, take a breath. Why is there a need to purchase this land at a premium right now? Could the city wait and plug this $360,000 somewhere else? Why is the seller charging such a premium for land that is not clearly used for anything of substantial gain? I urge the council to vote no on agenda item 13.2 and reinvest that money into the small and medium-sized businesses that are the backbone of this very magnificent city. I'm going to cut some of this out because we talked earlier, and that is respectful of me. I look forward to a time when the city hunts for development to be world-class residential town with fantastic streets, vibrant and diverse community, a strong housing market, and shops that fit our amazing city. As I close, I'm reminded of a quote that I hope lands with you well, Mayor Pro Tem, and council. Baz Luhrmann wrote a banger of a song in 1997. Yeah, no, that's okay. It was a great song. And the song is "Everyone is Free to Wear Sunscreen." I love that song. In that song, there's a lyric towards the very end. It says, quote, "Be careful whose advice you buy, but be patient with those who supply it. Advice is a form of nostalgia. Dispensing it is a way of fishing the past from the disposal, wiping it off, painting over the ugly parts, and recycling it for more than it is worth." As I strive to embody these words of impeccable intelligence from Mr. Luhrmann, it is my hope that all in attendance tonight will do the same.
Mr. Stevens, I would like to say that I think myself as mayor, staff, and the council are doing exactly what you said. We are trying to make this city vibrant, grow again, become alive. I feel when I became mayor, it was stagnant. It was just kind of there. And I feel like we are moving in the right direction. A perfect example is the award that we did win, and that is only the beginning of where this city is going to go. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor.
Good evening, Matthew Johnson. I want to speak about the budget as well. Frankly put, it's not a good budget. I think that was brought up earlier. A lot of red in there. It's not balanced. This has been going on for far too long. You know, I know we always hear that, you know, math is hard, and I agree with that. Math is hard. One thing that's hard about math is integrating a function between the upper and lower limits revolved around an axis to figure out the volume of a irregular shape. That's hard. Okay, and now why I remember how to do that is beyond me. But I could do it. I could probably still do it. But this is a budget. It's simple. It's money in, it's money out. The mayor, you said multiple times now, you know, you didn't know how the finances were this bad. And you needed to bring money in the right way. You gave us the utility fee that we all have to pay, which we're already getting taxed on. You know, we always argue about tax versus fee, you know, but it's something we have to pay as residents. You know, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. The city doesn't have a revenue problem. It's got money coming in any other way, like a Wonka Vader. That's for my buddy Mark. He likes movies. It's got money coming in one way, outside, upside, any other way you can think of. And here's the hard truth. Pekin's got a spending problem, quite frankly. And you're going to do it tonight on 13-2 that Mark just spoke of. You don't need to do that. And then we're going to give a COLA increase before you even pass the budget because you wanted to move it forward. Why? Why are we doing that? And why are we having a public hearing and then 20 minutes later we're going to approve it? None of this is making sense right now. And I just don't understand it. I don't think anybody can really explain it to me. So I wouldn't pass this budget. And you know, when I lost my job in November, you know, it was hard. We had to do some serious self-healing and look at our family budget. I killed a lot of things in there. I know that's probably not the right word, but that's what I did. I eliminated all spending on streaming services. I've got none. I had to cancel my online gaming community. I lost a lot of friends that way. But I limped my family along through Thanksgiving, through Christmas, through New Year's. It was hard. Now, thankfully, I found a new job, and some of those wants, not needs, are coming back. But you just got to shut this city down and stop spending wasteful money on things we don't need. Limp it along. You know, I'm not going to stand here and say fire people because that's not right. I don't agree with that. But you don't always have to give merit increases. They do that in the public sector. They just send an email and say, you know what, you guys aren't getting a COLA increase this year. Find something you like about it. I added that part, but that's the context of the email. Just limp the city along. It'll survive. You can't buy a city. You know, Peoria can't come in here and just buy us. Okay? So just limp it along. It'll survive. We've been here 200 years. We'll survive. As far as that goes, that's really all I have to say. You know, I know you're going to vote on this this deer hunting thing. You just, you know, you do the right thing. On paper, you know what that looks like. I read that law that passed last year, and if you really actually read it, it's about eradication. It's got nothing to do with deer hunting. It's created a new
it's created a new season between June, I'm going off the top of my head, June 1st to November 15th, to where if the public landowner can prove 80% take rate in the last season, they can just open it up and you can go in there and eradicate the deer. Yep.
25
You
seconds,
can
sorry.
eradicate the deer and just get rid of them. That's what the law was written for. Anyways, have a good
15
evening.
seconds.
Excuse me. A point of clarification. Are you saying we should let them kill the deer or we shouldn't let them kill the deer?
I'm just explaining the law.
Yeah, is there a way to go with that?
I'm a man's man. You kill the deer.
Anyone else wishing to have their voice be heard? Hello, I don't think the mic is on.
Can you hear me now?
Much better.
Okay. My name is Paige Hall, and I am here just briefly to speak about the data center, and I will keep it brief. I'm sure you've heard all the scientific reasons and why people feel that it's bad for the community. You spoke earlier, Ms. Phillips, about trust and that you're not going to sneak anything. I think if you would like less people to come in and speak, if you could keep them apprised of the situation, if there were some community communication from you all to let people know what the status is and what phases we are in, I think you'd have less people in the fear mode of what's going on and we're afraid of what's going to happen. So if you possibly could communicate the status of things a little more, I think you'd have plenty of community members that are willing to listen and hear what you have to say, and would probably their fears would be put at ease. Someone else spoke about a moratorium, and my understanding is that that can be related to researching the land and the land use and that kind of thing. Not that we would individually do any research, do any scientific research here ourselves or in this town, at least not on a large scale. But much of what citizens are learning about data centers is being reported from actual citizens. It's them finding out after the fact the impacts that they're having on their communities. So I think that is where the fear comes in from the citizens of this community, is we don't know what to expect, and that's partly based on the fact that there isn't any, not much research being done because these things are so new, and all of these impacts are being found out after the fact. After the places are here, after they can't be removed, and after citizens' quality of life is drastically decreased. My background is in science and nursing. I have a degree in biology and nursing, so I do care about the environment and about human health, and that's why I'm here, just to share my opinions. The problem is after the fact, when people are finding out how terrible it is to live in a community with a data center, there's nothing they can do. This is a $1 trillion industry, and no one has the money to fight them. There are no regulations in place. When the data centers start their proposals, they say we will use this much water, we will create this much heat, we will use this much power. Then after the fact, people all across their counties and areas, their energy bills are increased, their water bills are increased, the water's being polluted. Their generator use is far beyond what they anticipated it would be, which increases carbon emissions, methane emissions, different things like that. So we know that there is a large environmental impact after the fact after we've been told that there would not be. But once that is in place, if there's no regulation, then these companies have no accountability. And so I think that is the fear that the citizens have, is that even if it did make its way through, once it's here, there's nothing that we can do about it. I'm just asking that we consider not being the guinea pig of data centers. It is very new, and I think there just needs to be more research done on health and human impact. And we know it's going to harm our citizens. We don't know how much, and we don't know what, if any, benefits would come from it. But we need to be concerned with our community first, rather than the AI needs of the rest of the country.
35 seconds.
And again, once it's here, if there's no accountability, there's not really much we can do as a community. Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to have their voice be heard this evening? Public input is now closed. That was an hour and 10 minutes.
Not quite, because we didn't start the public comment.
Oh, all right, an hour. Chair would entertain a motion for the consent agenda, please.
Oh, Madam Mayor, I'd like to personally interject and say thank you to everybody. I appreciate coming in, and I appreciate how everyone worked to keep it short. I have a long list of things that we want to vote on. So excuse me while I stumble over this. Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I move that we approve the following items on the consent agenda. Item 6.1, accounts payable paid proof list through April 3rd, 2026.
Please be quiet in the audience, please.
Item 6.2, receive and file building department permit report for March 2026. Item 6.3, receive and file emergency procurement for mold and asbestos abatement at East Side Fire Station 1. Item 6.4, receive and file bids for demolition at 201 Cooper Street. Item 6.5, receive and file bids for demolition at 213 Jane Street. Item 6.6, receive and file bids for demolition at 281 Cook Street. Item 6.7, receive and file bids for demolition at 714 North 4th Street. Item 6.8, receive and file bids for demolition at 1008 South 3rd Street. Item 6.9, receive and file FY fiscal year 2026 budget transfers through April 8th, 2026. Item 6.10, receive and file RFP submittals for 2026 mowing, landscaping, and right-of-way maintenance. And finally, item 6.11, resolution number 400-25/26, supporting the Illinois America 250 commemoration.
Motion made by Ms. Phillips and second by Ms. Hoheimer. Any questions, comments, or concerns on the consent agenda, which was a long one? Seeing none, council, take your vote, please. Motion passes 7-0. Roger Brotherton, the presentation, we had him go first before our public input. And he has left the audience. We have now come down to item 8, which is public hearing, which is 8.1, which is budget hearing for fiscal year May 1st, 2026 through April 30th, 2027. It being 6:45, it is now open.
Madam Mayor, we do have a presentation to give tonight.
Okay.
If we can get that load perfect.
So everyone, this is Eric Dabrowski. He will be doing the presentation of the public budget. Excuse me.
So as the council and the public may recall, this year was a little bit different. We actually had 2 public budget workshops, both in February and March, which were posted online and live streamed. So there's been more discussion in this budget process than we've had previously. Tonight, and again, hearing the discussions that we've had from those meetings, from the public, from the council, and follow-up discussions, I put this together just to abate some of the concerns that have been floating around, so we can explain a little bit more. And it's to acknowledge the work that needs to be done in the short term, but also in the long term, because there are some long-term concerns that we need to take a look at. So I'll go ahead and start. So tonight's overview, some items I want to tackle are the whole personnel cost allocation update. I know we've talked about it at a council level, but I think there would be some benefit talking to the public about this to clear up a little bit of confusion that may exist. We've talked about the total budget deficits. You know, we have about an $8 million number floating out there, but not all deficits are the same. There's some that are structural that we need to take a close look at, particularly heading into the future. Some are just the ebb and flow of money. You kind of build up savings and you spend it down. Others are strategic one-time uses, and again, we'll touch that later. The whole wrap-up of the closeout of the bus fund and the short-term assets and liabilities and the long-term and how they roll. And then I want to spend some time, concern of mine is talking about the general fund and the long-term outlook. Again, we traditionally, from what I've seen in Pekin, we've looked at the short-term. We look at 1 year out. You know, we need to start in the upcoming fiscal year to start talking about more down the line. It's an important factor. So where we are. Now, this budget is balanced from a budget law standpoint. If it wasn't balanced, then it wouldn't be brought forward. That said, there are ongoing operating revenues that do not fully cover operating expenses. That's a given. The one-time resources, which are your reserves, are used to close that gap. So your sources are matching your uses, and that's where the budget law comes into point. You're able to ensure that you have the money flow in. So, but that said, those resources, they're not going to be available in future years, or definitely not to the extent that we're seeing. So that's something to keep in mind. The long-term structural balance in the general fund must be addressed through a multi-year strategy. Looking back traditionally, I haven't seen a bigger correction that needs to take place, and it's a discussion that we need to talk about with the council and see what we do heading into the future. And achieving that long-term balance is going to require that policy direction from the council, and will result in changes in revenues and expenditures in the long term. So, as I mentioned before, the administrative cost allocations versus overhead reimbursements. So the reason we did this had a lot to do with transparency, which I know in the first year it gets a little fuzzy because you're not comparing apples to apples. But the old way, and what we currently see, is that employee costs are split across multiple funds. You have salary, you have benefits, you have insurance, and all the benefits that go in that are, you know, imagine 5 lines apiece and 5, 6, 7 budgets for those that have allocated overhead. So your total cost of employee is not easily visible when you look into that budget document. It's more difficult to explain, and it's more difficult to audit. So the new way is to have 100% of the employee have all their costs recorded in a home department. So if you want to see where their salary is, 100% of those salaries and benefits for any employee you see will be in one department. Now, the other funds will reimburse that home department based on time allocation. So it's going to seem as revenue that's going to float into the home fund. That home fund, more often than not, is the general fund. And I think the only other fund that even has that situation is the wastewater fund, where solid waste, they have a reimbursement for pretty much a 50-50 split of folks' time. That full cost of the employee is visible in one spot, so it's easier to understand, it's easier to budget, and easier to audit. This has been an issue that I've seen looking through our financials for years. Bottom line, this change doesn't increase actual costs, and it does improve that transparency and accountability. But the problem is that year-over-year personnel comparison for the first year, FY '27's impacted because, again, it's not apples to apples. So with that, I'm going to pick on Simon. So our Public Works Director, right now he's split across multiple funds, and reasonably so. His home, it's in the general fund, Public Works. Of course, he supervises in solid waste, wastewater, airport, vehicle maintenance, right? So each of those funds currently shows a portion of his salary and benefits. So if you wanted to see his total compensation, you need to add each of those salary lines plus each of the benefit lines, and the result, those costs are going to be scattered across, they're hard to see the full picture, and there's more line items and more complexity. So right now, if you want to see it in the upcoming budget, 100% of his salary and benefits are going to be in one area, the Public Works General Fund, Public Works Department. Those other funds would reimburse their share. Again, it's coming into, as a bulk into Department 990 in the general fund. You have full cost visibility in one place. Other funds still pay their fair share, and you have fewer line items and a cleaner budget. So why does this matter? Again, I mentioned before transparency. That full cost is visible in one place. It eliminates a fragmented cost presentation. That cost allocation of the enterprise and special revenue funds are paying their fair share. Costs are allocated based on usage. It provides better decision-making, so there's a clearer understanding of your service costs, and it supports rate setting and, most importantly, your long-term planning of these funds. From an audit and a compliance standpoint, it's clear, it's easier to follow, and aligns with the best practices in cost allocation. The next slide has to do with the total budget deficit, and I might ask for Josh's assistance on some of these. So the three main factors here are a drawdown that we're seeing in the BDD and TIF funds. Those funds have accumulated, they're being drawn down, they're paying for Court Street. So basically, if you're looking at that big deficit number, that is Court Street funds that have accumulated over time. General fund, at the first public workshop, there was a discussion of moving the first year of the Ludekin loan payment from the Court Street TIF to the general fund, and pay for that out of reserves, and that's where that's coming from. And I'll talk a little bit more about Ludekin in a minute. And then the one-time transfers from the bus and the tourism fund, which I'll discuss as well. Now, as I said before, not all deficits are the same. You have structural, which definitely are an issue. You have one-time strategic uses, and these are the pre-planned items. They're not the one to say, oops, we need to cover it, we'll cover out of reserves. No, you head into a budget utilizing it. And then you have a multi-year buildup followed by a drawdown. For example, the Court Street projects, we all know that. So what is, in our situation at FY '27, the budget deficit does not mean negative cash or a negative fund balance. We are not looking at those situations, so I want to abate any fears there. The bus fund, it's a closeout, and it requires a deficit in the final year of the bus fund because you're wrapping up and we're going to be done. That's going to go off our books. So you're going to see a drawdown. And then, as I said before, where you have the BDD, TIF funds, things like that, special revenue funds, they're by nature, they often are meant to save and expend, save and expend. They're a little bit more of a savings account versus a checking account, if you will. For us, those checking accounts are main operating funds that generally should balance. Where everyone should focus on is general fund, sewer fund, solid waste fund. Those are the three biggies. Josh, is there anything you'd like to add on the Court Street TIF from BDD?
No, I think you hit it really well. I just wanted to note one figure to kind of give an example of the BDD's deficit, if you will. That strategic drawdown, 5.4 million of that is going towards current or payments on prior phases of Court Street reconstruction. So like when we talk about strategic plan, we talk about spending money on roads. We're spending millions of dollars on major infrastructure projects, and that is why you see a quote-unquote deficit spend, but it's planned. The money is there, and it was saved, and it's there for a purpose. So yes, absolutely, it's a deficit spend. Perfectly fine in that kind of fund. As Eric said, those other three main operating funds, you don't want to see that year to year.
Thank you, Josh. So I'm going to transition to the bus fund transition. What's changing? So the bus operations, as I mentioned, will cease in FY27. The bus fund will be closed financially by the end of FY27. The remaining short-term assets and liabilities will be absorbed in the general fund. And if there's any long-term balance sheet items not disposed of, they'll stay on the government-wide. So basically, we'll see an influx of their assets, much of it's cash. Although if later on, a few years from now, we're going to see some bus-related expense that we weren't aware of, general fund's going to pay for it. That's part of it to keep in mind. Why is this happening? It eliminates an ongoing service and related costs. This is part of the consolidates remaining financial activity into the general fund. It's closing up. So how the budget reflects the change. The FY27 budget includes about 1 month worth of bus revenues. Again, it's, I think, May, it's the very end of the school year. You know, a little bit between 1 to 2 months of salaries and benefits, as well as unemployment costs for the summer. Now, I will say the bus fund and some of their expenditures, there's some conservative buffer for final closeout costs because there's unknowns. Just because it's budgeted doesn't mean you spend it. And having that conservative estimate for closeout costs, that actual spending may be lower. And when the final results are ultimately determined, it's going to be based on the actual closeout. So right now in the budget, we show approximately a $1.1 million transfer to the general fund from the bus. That transfer out shows an expense in the bus fund, shows a revenue heading into the general fund. And as I mentioned before, if there's additional funds, if available, those will be transferred later via a budget amendment. So what is it? It's not an ongoing revenue. It's not a recurring funding source. It's a one-time use of existing cash. The result is ending a service, provides short-term support for the general fund. It's pretty consistent with what we did last year with economic development fund,
Okay.
although a larger scale.
Okay.
So the final piece. Now this has to do with the general fund. Now the general fund current position and outlook, as I mentioned before, it's the primary operating fund of the city. In any discussion we have about the city's finance, the #1 focus needs to be the general fund. That is key. And this fund, because of that, requires long-term structural stability. The FY27 budget position, they had initial staff requests that reflected a deficit of approximately $4 million. The position improved to near balance at staff level and due to staff-related cuts. There was a whole list of different things that we ratcheted back on. Initially, it was within a few $100,000, which we got to that point in February at the workshop. Again, as I mentioned previously, per council direction, we shifted the $1.24 million Ludekin debt payments to the general fund to be paid for with reserves, which is what we did at this base. Ending result, at the end of the day, revenues for the general fund are $43.5 million over expenditures of $44.7. The net, there's a draw of 1.2. That net balance includes a one-time draw of resources in the name of reserves. Again, balanced per a budget law perspective, but not structurally balanced for the long term. So I do want to talk about the Ludekin. Ludekin loan obviously is a hot topic, all right? So let's talk about that for a minute. The Ludekin loan overview and its funding plan. So the annual principal and interest is about $1.24 million. Structurally, it's similar to a line of credit. As you know, that if we have a bolus of principal that's paid out, then it's going to reduce our interest costs and close up the loan quicker. The funding plan for this. So the funding plan is offset through future land sale proceeds on the 1 to 4 year horizon. The timing of the repayment will be influenced based on land sale activity and required minimum payments. So again, whatever goes out there, okay, that when that land is sold, that gets earmarked for the Ludekin purchase. That is the funding source for this. And the sooner that gets sold off, the sooner this goes. Of course, that is a factor, but not a driving factor that goes on before such decisions. So with that, with the transfers, look at the current structural gap. So right now, if that gap is $1.2 million, And you know that that $1.75 million of the tourism and bus transfers won't be there. But then you adjust for the fact that that Ludekin agreement, assuming land gets sold, goes through, has its own funding source, that estimated structural gap is about 1.7. That represents an ongoing imbalance between recurring revenues and expenditures. And that is what I was saying requires a multi-year strategy to address. So as we talk about revenues, revenue growth, it does exist. There's modest growth related to sales tax. Utility taxes, as you may recall with Alto, we had a situation where they paid early and then they have a credit. Well, eventually in the out years, FY '28 budget, '29, we're gonna see those dollars. So that's where that pops in. And due to volume, we see permit and license fees and some of those other types of revenues, we're seeing some revenue growth there. Here's one of my biggest concerns related to our revenue stream, and that's state shared revenues. So as you may recall, we have personal property replacement tax. And right now it's been stable, not a lot of growth, but the last couple, 2, 3, 4 years ago, those numbers are half of what they are.
Yeah.
So you're losing a couple $1 million there. The bigger thing that is just.
And that was due to an error, correct?
That is
By the
correct.
state.
There's that and some changes in tax law as well, too.
Yeah, thank you.
And then the LGDF fund, which stands for Local Government Distributive Fund.
Yep.
And that is most closely associated with state income tax, our portion that comes in. For years, we would get 10% through an allocation, what have you. The state changed the formula where supposedly they were going to increase the base and we had a lower percentage, 6%, but it's been changing over the years. Long story short, since 2012, cumulatively, we lost over $28 million in this funding stream. We wouldn't be having a lot of these conversations if we still had that funding stream where it should be. So long story short, overall revenue growth is there. It's modest, it's constrained, that's part of the issue, while we do have expenditure pressures. So public safety pensions, and we've had a lot of discussions about pensions. It's about $7.6 million coming from city employer contributions. That said, 75% of that is attributable to unfunded liabilities. We've talked about this. This is the interest on it. That's what, $5.7 million at the end of the day. So there's that factor. We're paying a lot on interest. Additionally, with the public safety pensions, we've talked about this too, the other funding sources in the general fund that go to it. This year it's to the tune of $1.84 million, and that's partially offset with this amount. Property taxes and other earmark sources don't cover the whole thing. Well, there's that 1.84, which kind of gets us back to the balance. Again, not just picking on pensions, but looking at mandated requirements. Look at all the unfunded mandates that come out. The body cameras, technology, training. I mean, that's $1 million right there that we did not have in the past.
Yep.
We mentioned ADA compliance, different reporting requirements, all with a cost, and we have no choice but to comply with those things. And then we get into capital needs with our aging infrastructure, the roads, the fleet, the facilities, what have you. So, I mean, these costs are not, they continue to increase, but, they're not unique to Pekin, and they're not necessarily factors completely within our control, but something that we do have to fund. So, again, are we in crisis mode? No. Okay, but we need to manage this. All right, manage in the long term. So what is the path forward? So you have 4 tools. Any community in these situations has 4 tools in their toolbox. 1, you can increase your revenues, okay? 2, you can grow your tax base, both sales and property tax. 3, you manage your expenditures. 4, you sell your assets. Each of these has a trade-off. So that revenue, obviously we know there's an impact on affordability, something to always keep in mind. Economic growth is the best. It's fantastic. The problem is it takes time, but it also takes investment to do. It doesn't happen overnight. Expenditure reductions, public safety, roads, internal services, there's a reduction in impact to service levels. Always something to stay cognizant of. And selling assets, that works. It's a one-time fix, though. Now, cases like Ludekin, if it's going to fully fund this sale of those assets or funding the loan, great, fantastic, but it can't operationalize that. So those long-term solutions will require policy direction and a multi-year strategy. So what are the next steps? Looking ahead, this budget, FY27, addresses the short-term needs. Okay, it gets us to the point where we can move forward, looking at that structural gap that remains beyond this year and into the future, because then we can get that direction. The council can give us the input of what we need to increase, what we need to grow, and what we need to reduce in order to make a sustainable path forward, because it's going to require decisions in the upcoming year. So again, this FY27 budget is a base to get us to this point, but we have work to do.
Okay. Yes, that was a lot in a short time. I appreciate all the hard work you've put into it. I know it was countless hours. We really do appreciate that. And the rest of the staff. It took everyone here in staff to help you get that budget put together. So thank you very much. Council, does anyone have any, or first of all, before I open it up to council, City Manager, Mr. Dossi, do you have anything more you would like to add?
I do not.
Okay. Council.
I'll start.
Seeing, oops, I thought this
Do we
was going to be
wanna-
quick.
Now, do we want to address Mr. McNish's question about the deficit in the solid waste? How we got, or is that for a long-term discussion that we need to do?
Well, and I know in the current year, there's not the deficit, but the money that's owed back, I think that would be a good follow-up topic to have a discussion on that.
Okay. Yeah, because I'll reserve comment right now.
Anyone else?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Anyone else? Ms. Hoheimer?
I just want to let you know how much I appreciate all the work that you have all done. And I appreciate the fact that you did clarify which items were one-time versus ongoing, which is, I think, an important factor. So, thank you.
Very good. All right. So do I now close if there's no other comments? It is, does public have anything they would like to say? The gentleman in the back, Mr. Aerosmith.
Can I address why there's a budget deficit in the solid waste?
Sure.
I've been here since the beginning.
It's your floor.
All right, so we took back the garbage.
Oh, hold on, no.
Greg-
Perfect.
Okay.
Go for it, sorry.
Greg Ranning was my boss, he hired me.
Yes,
And he looked
great
at,
man.
studied it, the numbers were going in the wrong direction for solid waste.
Yep.
So he brought it back in the house with council's approval, 2004. We started September 1st, 2004.
Okay.
Now, I don't know how many years, I'm not good with dates. One of the city managers, after the real city manager left.
Denny Keith.
Denny, yep, I didn't say it, kicked us out of the general fund.
Right.
Kicked solid waste out and said, they're running the deficit. Gave us no funding stream. So Greg is a very smart man. If anybody knows Greg Rand, he's a very smart man.
Yes, indeed.
In budget meetings, in council, or staff meetings, he's like, they paid the bill, basically. Paid the bill for solid waste, because it used to be in the general fund. You never saw a bill, you never thought about it, your garbage was picked up. Denny Keefe couldn't balance the budget, kicked us out. Said, gave us no funding. Greg Graney said, pay the bill or give us funding. They said, okay, we're gonna give you funding. How much do you need? $18 a month. We'll give you 12. We ran on 12 for years. That's how we ended up in the fuzzy math, owing the general fund all this money, because that was the cost of doing business. And they didn't give us a funding stream. Then they gave us a funding stream and gave us $6 less than the man running the department said we needed. And we ran that way, ran behind the 8 ball for years. and still gave the service to the citizens. We got it back right around COVID time, or you guys voted us to keep us and not give us GFL. $1 raises for 5 years, $1, $1, froze it for 4 years. That is a problem that we've been dealt with in the solid waste. That's why Jay McNish says we owe the general fund, which we are paying back,
Yes, you are.
which you will not get paid back if you vote to give it to GFL.
That is correct.
I've asked, and I've asked, and I've asked. Every time I come down here, Rick Hills, Dave Nutter, John Abel, Karen Weimer, come down to the solid waste department. Talk to me. I'll get you on a truck. I can tell you the whole history. I've been here since the beginning. Come and talk to me. Don't read it on the internet, because as you find out, our city manager doesn't make $350,000 a year. Everything you read on the internet isn't true.
True.
Come down and talk to me. I'm more than willing to show you what we do. And we're not, no ill intent. We like to pick your garbage up and do it in a safe, efficient manner.
Yes, you do. Thank you so much. Anyone else from public? There was a gentleman, okay.
My name's Gary Lambert.
Good evening.
I recently moved here from Bloomington.
Thank you.
Term I've heard frequently there, heard tonight, structural deficit. Their response was, well, we got to do something. We got to bring in more revenue. What'd they do? This is going back 10 years or so. They added a bunch of new taxes or increased existing taxes. Go down the road a little bit. Some of them even put limits on it. You know, like this is duration will be for, I don't recall the number, 5 years, 10 years. Time comes, not a single councilman would agree to go along with what they said, that they would eliminate that quote, quote, temporary tax. Then the good times come. They had more money coming in and they know what to do with. I hope it comes to Pekin if you're having problems now. I haven't looked at the numbers. I haven't heard them mentioned tonight. It's kind of hard for general public if you don't discuss numbers in front of the public, but that's neither here nor there. Wouldn't affect it.
It's on the website. Yeah. It is on the website.
The point I guess I'm trying to make is the public has a structural deficit. You have the ability, you the council, to solve your structural deficit. You can go out and borrow money, you can implement new taxes to cover that. You've got unlimited ability to do that. The public doesn't have that ability. Whatever you end up doing, approving, not approving, keep the public in mind. I'm fortunate. I retired from Caterpillar 26 years ago. I got a pension. We don't have them anymore. But it's the same dollar figure as it was 26 years ago. Now, that's not your concern. But all I'm saying is, government is taking an ever-increasing share of the wage earners' revenue. Not your fault. You get unfunded demands from the state.
Constantly.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Yep.
I keep up on
Yep.
it. Just keep that in mind in whatever you do. I don't know how. Hate to use the term, common labor. You know, somebody, pick a number, making $20, $25 an hour. I don't know how they get by with the taxes they have to pay. Real estate taxes go up every year. That's an unappreciated asset, and he's having to pay tax on it every year. Constantly going up. I've said enough, but
Thank
please
you.
keep who you represent in mind.
We appreciate that. Thank you. It being 7:15, this public hearing is now closed. Madam Clerk. Thank you, Mr. Dabrowski. My goodness, it's cold in here now. Chair would entertain a motion for 9.1 under unfinished business, please.
Madam Mayor, I move resolution number 396-25/26, authorizing the temporary waiver of Pekin City Code Section 6-4-2 to allow deer hunting within the city limits in conjunction with a farm lease with Jeff Yergler be approved.
Second?
Just for the record, it was Resolution 393
Sorry.
393. I'm
dash
sorry.
2526.
Okay, she's got it. Perfect. Okay.
That's
Thank you.
quite all
Thank you,
right.
Peg. Mr. Dossi.
Thank you, Mayor. This was brought back after the last meeting where council was seeking a little bit of information. I think Mr. Vasselli has some of that regarding I believe, a House bill or Senate bill and
Correct.
some other information.
I don't remember that Senate bill. Mr. Nutter did say something about the bill number, but you were going to look it up immediately.
0710, Senate Bill 0710 with effective dates in 2026 and 2027, Madam Chair. And those, there are some cleanup provisions of said bill are in the law from said bill. And there's also the Department, Illinois Department of Natural Resources promulgated and required the establishment of rules as discussed here before the culling of deer. There are certain specific parameters with regard to that. I do have that written out in a memorandum. Ultimately, what we are here tonight is a vote on whether we're going to waive the requirements that are based upon and done to ensure that there's not an overrun of deer population on there, which would cause damage to the farm property that the city is responsible for farming in part, responsible for farming in part, and obviously for any of us who've driven on these roads, an overpopulation of deer sometimes does cause damage to traffic, and that could be fatal, can cause problems, and I've known people to experience that. So what we are here tonight, while relevant, and I'm glad that we did go down that explanation of the statutory language that goes into effect again in 26 and 27. We are here tonight to waive the requirement that you can't discharge certain weapons on city property. This is now city property. I don't make public policy decisions, but staff recommends approval of this to ensure that the herd, I believe the proper term is culled, that
Correct.
it is mitigated so that there's not an overflow of deer populace out there.
Thank you. Mr. Dossi, anything else?
I have nothing further, Mayor.
All right. Any counsel? Mr. Hilst?
So just to clarify, does Mr. Yergler reside in the city limits?
No.
Okay, so here's the problem I have as a council member. I won't argue that there might be some deer out there on that property destroying a certain percentage of those crops, whatever that percentage may be. But I just can't support waiving a city code for a non-resident and his close family and friends to hunt on that property out there and then get all the phone calls and emails tomorrow from the people that are actual city residents that still can't fish out there. So I'm not gonna support it.
Mr. Are we sure his piece of property is not annexed now?
That's correct, it's not.
Okay,
And just to be clear, it's not any of his friends, it's immediate family only.
yeah, yeah, it's, I
Okay,
think he
I
made that
stand
very
corrected on
clear,
that.
that it was, yeah, he did make it clear last time that it was his family members only, and that they, I think they kill or hunt the females, so they won't keep producing. How's that? Anyone else?
So, I understand the idea that people want access to this for hunting. So, to Mr. Hill's point, that there are citizens who want to go out there.
A lot of them.
And I understand, my perspective is that that's a liability problem on our part if we open it up. And apparently, Mr. Yergler's come forth and said, hey, whatever you thought about your liability problem, now you've got a damage problem from the deer. Am I right so far?
That is correct.
And our choices are that we let the deer keep having babies, and evidently we get a deer apocalypse. Or we say, so nobody hunts there, the deer take over. We say we can let one person hunt there because this person knows the ground, we think the liability's not a risk here, or we can open it up to everybody to hunt there. Is that basically what we're looking at?
No, we were only looking at Mr. Yergler and his direct family to hunt to keep it down, so we can get some revenue from farmland.
Yeah, I think Councilwoman Phillips's point is that as far as alternatives go,
Oh, alternatives, yeah.
alternative to
Yeah.
this, you're pointing out other
Right.
situations that could exist.
And so, is it, I don't know that much about wildlife, I'm an accountant. But is it necessary that we cull these deer?
To what?
Cull the deer? Is it a necessity? This needs to be done.
I think the.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So,
Call the deer?
cull.
Okay,
Cull.
sorry.
Yeah, first time I heard about a cull cow, that was a different story. But, so we need to do it. That's what everybody, the members here agree. And then the question is, are we gonna let Mr. Yergler do it, or do we find somebody else to do it, or do we feed them birth control? May I yield my
I don't know if
time?
anyone from, I don't know
The
if anyone
Senate
from the
bill-
public can say anything. The
The-
Senate bill says family only.
Yeah, it's family only, if they're farming or they're the tenant farmer, which would be in this case. That's what my understanding of that Senate bill is. This would be allowing just that.
Consistent with that bill.
We just have to make sure that everybody's not a cousin of his.
So, what we're then approving is opening them up the hunting to the person who rents the farm ground.
And his immediate
And their
family.
family.
Leases the farm ground.
Right. So, consistent with state law, that it's tied directly to the fact that they're using our farm ground, and the mitigation is a part of operating that business that they're running on our property.
Correct.
Got it, thank you.
He had stated that if it was a good year, it would be around, the city's portion was around $45,000, correct? Didn't he state that last time?
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone else?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Yergler, do you have crop insurance? Oh, he's not here?
I didn't think he was here tonight.
Well, I can't see behind the pole, that's why I said that, so I didn't know.
I know
So,
he has,
so if crop insurance, if you have a bad year and the deer ate it, That's,
I don't know if
I-
crop
I don't
insurance
know.
covers
Well,
that.
that's why I'm asking.
I think it's more like weather, like wind and hail and things like that. I don't know that wildlife covers that. And I guess my answer is I don't know, but
I can tell you from my experience doing farmers' taxes that they don't get crop insurance from deer.
It's hail and my grandson.
Just was asked to ask the question.
Okay. All right.
I mean, we could look in,
Question was
and
asked.
look into it a little bit, but I believe it's more like natural weather-related type thing. I don't know that it covers wildlife.
It's called rain and hail. I don't know if we can, there's people from the public. Do we let them say anything or what? Not, I'm sorry. All right, all right. Anyone else from council? Yes, Mr.
So-
Fletcher.
I was one of the ones that voted no, not to make it illegal for citizens to trespass on this, since they're having to pay the bill. And I'll say, with the hunting thing, there's other ways to take care of the deer other than one family hunting it. You could do a lottery. You could have a club that wants to do this and get their insurance. I'm not going to vote for one person to be able to take care of that when the taxpayers own that land. So my vote will be a no, but I would say I know there's a deer problem. There's other ways of taking care of that. Plus, when you start shooting deer on that land, they just run next to the next land over and come out on the road. So that doesn't mean you're going to wipe out the deer problem from this guy hunting this piece of property. Thank you.
I don't know. The Senate bill was for family members.
The point of the Senate bill was for this conservation effort.
Yeah.
And crop protection effort, and it did limit it to owners of bona fide interest. There's some inartful definitions, and then it talks about the family members thereof. So, of course, we will do as the board says with regards to policy. I think that the one thing we can all agree on is that the deer problem needs to be addressed in some manner out at the property.
So the city actually has no control over the permitting for the hunting. It all belongs to the IDNR, and they're the ones that check out family.
Hunting licensure goes through IDNR. Our lifting is the discharge of weaponry.
Discharge of the firearm.
Yeah,
Yes.
in the village limits. That is really what we're here on voting. The wisdom of Springfield is not a debate tonight before this issue.
Do you remember off the top of your head, what's the time frame, the dates?
Interesting question. So there are two different, of course, Springfield makes nothing easy.
Well,
There
there's
are two
the
different
actual deer
effective
hunting.
dates. Yeah, there are two different effective dates. There are parts of it that are effective in 2027 and 2026. I thought it, thank you, I thought it was June. But again, that is not, a good question. That is really not why we're here tonight. Why we're here tonight is, are we gonna lift this ban from the city code to allow this person to do this thing? Like, that's really, I don't mean to oversimplify it, but that's
No,
really what we're here for.
But you're right, that's correct.
And I'll just add to Mr. Fletcher, we were just trying to stay consistent with the Senate bill that's out there. So that's why the
Sure.
lottery and everything.
We are home rule though, right? We can
are,
change
but
that if we want
also
to.
have to follow what's.
Oh, I understand.
statute.
I'm just saying there's other ways around it.
Not exempt.
Anyone else from council? Pardon me?
No, I understand the importance
Yes.
of our knowledge with regards to 0710. And I understand that, while you're right, we are a home rule unit and we have we can opt out of some things, we can do some things. We do always, as a policy perspective from legal, try to stay in alignment, right? Like, we try to stay close on these issues. But again, I'm sorry to repeat myself. Maybe it's the cold medicine. We are here because there is a code provision. That code provision says you can't discharge weapons within the city limits. What the request is tonight is, are we going to allow someone to do that for the purposes of culling a deer herd? I am not a hunter, I apologize. I've done it and I'm very poor at it. Or not, that's it. I don't mean to be, I'm not trying to be dismissive, I just want to make sure we stay on point with regards to our issues.
Okay. Anyone else from council? Council, take your vote, please. I don't even know what number we're at. Oh, I got it. Jeez. Pardon me. See, the resolution is already up there, which is good. Has everybody had a chance to vote? Yours? Oh, we have an issue. IT, we have an issue out here. Let's do roll call. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Councilmember Hilst?
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Hoheimer?
No.
Councilmember Abel?
Aye.
Councilmember Fletcher?
No.
Councilmember Phillips?
Aye.
Councilmember Nutter?
No.
Mayor Burris?
Aye. Motion fails 4-3, or
3-4.
3-4. Are we good to continue on, IT? Okay. Chair would entertain a motion for 9.2, please.
Madam Mayor, I move that resolution number 398-25/26, approving the fiscal year 2027 tourism event sponsorships be approved.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Nutter and second by Ms. Hoheimer. Mr. Dossi.
Thank you, Mayor. This is the tourism sponsorships, and I think council had some input on this that they wanted to pass on tonight.
Anyone from council? If not, we will vote on as it was turned in to us. So, council, take your vote, please.
Well,
I think. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Councilmember Abel?
Aye.
Councilmember Hilst?
Aye.
Councilmember Fletcher?
Aye.
Councilmember Phillips?
Aye.
Councilmember Nutter?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Hoheimer?
Aye.
And Mayor Burris.
Aye, motion passes 7-0. I want to thank everyone, Amy and everyone else on tourism. I don't think Ms. Matthews is here this evening, but I want to thank you all for your hard work. Thank you very much. And bringing great things to the city. We are now come down to item 10, which is new business. Chair would entertain a motion for 10.1A, I'm going to call it.
Mayor, we.
Yeah. Are we just going to still call it 10.4?
10.4.
Okay, 10.4. This is the one that.
10.4, that's me.
This
Yep.
is the one that Ms. Hoheimer
Yes.
asked to be ahead of 10.1.
Madam
Mayor, I
Okay.
move resolution number 401-25/26, approving a cost of living adjustment for non-union employees in the FYI 2026-27 budget. Be approved.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Abel and second by Ms. Hoheimer. Once again, Mr. Dossi, do you have a brief overview of this?
Yeah, this is the, per ordinance, this is the annual cost of living adjustment, the COLA for non-union employees, and the finance director did put some information in the packet regarding inflation, what Social Security was, past city COLAs, and what the recommendation was.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dabrowski. Any questions or comments or concerns from the council? We're going to go ahead and take a roll call again, Madam Clerk. Oh, well, no, we can't. Yeah.
Right, Councilmember Hilst,
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Hoheimer,
Aye.
Councilmember Nutter,
No.
Councilmember Fletcher,
No.
Councilmember Phillips,
Aye.
Councilmember Abel,
Aye.
Should I hit E-vote or what?
Mayor Burris.
Aye.
I mean.
Motion
this just
passes
tells us where we're
4-3.
at, But it doesn't let me vote.
Now we go back to, Chair would entertain a motion for 10.1, please.
Madam Mayor, I move that ordinance number 4390-25/26, adopting the fiscal year 2026-2027 annual budget be approved.
Second?
Motion made by Mr. Nutter and second by Ms. Hoheimer. Now you understand why 10.4 was above 10.1. Mr. Dossi, I think we're all aware of this annual budget, but would you like to fill us in on anything more?
Mayor, I have nothing further. It's just the annual budget as presented.
Okay. Mr. Dabrowski, anything more?
Not at this time, but I'd be happy to answer questions.
Outstanding presentation. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Anyone, council?
One comment on the budget. Thank you, Eric, for all the presentation. The key thing in there is to set up some meetings to talk about this thing in the future, because, yeah, we're biting the bullet here. So as soon as we can get something put together for a meeting, either jointly, however you decide to do it, we need to start addressing it now. So that's my only comment to the presentation. Good presentation, brought a lot of facts out there that need to be addressed in the coming years.
I think just the short time that I've been here, I'm very pleased and impressed with the presentation and the direction that our budgeting is going into. I've said from day one, a budget is a moving target. If it wasn't a moving target, we wouldn't have all these amendments and correction, not corrections, but amendments. So I appreciate everything, and it is a constant moving target. So thank you. Anyone else from council?
Very good. It was very, very transparent. I appreciate that.
Did he get you fixed?
We don't know until it comes up.
Okay. Mr. Abel?
Just one thing. We keep hearing about transparency from the audience every week. Compared to budgets 5 years ago, whatever, this is totally transparent.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it, at least for me, as far as understanding it and getting it down to easier to explain to the public when they call you or run into you somewhere. It's easier to explain. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Council, we're going to try to take our vote again. So Madam Clerk, just be ready if it doesn't work. Council, take your vote, please. Well, mine won't save. I did. Oh. It's just not doing it.
Mary's broken. Mary's computer.
Mine are broken.
I had to go back out and go back in. Hopefully get it like we did when we first come in the door. I had to go all the way out.
Swipe up from the bottom.
The whole thing?
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Yep.
Now it won't let me. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Councilmember
I'll get it
Hills.
in a second.
No.
Okay.
Mayor Pro Tem Hoheimer,
Yes.
Councilmember Abel,
Aye.
Councilmember Fletcher,
No.
Councilmember Phillips,
Aye.
Councilmember Nutter,
No.
Mayor Burris,
Yes. Motion passes, is it 4-3?
It is.
Correct. Oh, there we go. It popped up. Chair would now entertain a motion for 10.2, please.
Madam Mayor, I move that ordinance number 4391-25/26, approving the First Amendment to the tax increment financing redevelopment agreement with Olivia's Playhouse LLC and Lisa Fuller, be approved.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Abel and second by Ms. Hoheimer. Mr. Dossi, this has come before us a couple of times. Is there anything else you need to add?
Yeah, Mayor, this is the Olivia's Playhouse, the TIF agreement that has been pushed forward a couple times now. I think as presented now, I think resolves some of the questions that council had moving forward, and Josh is available for any questions.
Council, do you have any questions for Mr. Dossi or Mr. Ray? Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Oh, we're going to try, oh, yeah.
Councilmember Hilst,
No.
Councilmember Abel,
Aye.
Councilmember Fletcher,
No.
Councilmember Phillips,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Hoheimer,
Aye.
Councilmember Nutter,
Aye.
and Mayor Burris.
Aye. Motion passes 5-2. Chair would now entertain a motion for 10.3, please.
Madam Mayor, I move ordinance number 4392-25/26, approving a tax increment financing district redevelopment agreement with Greg Urish Trust under the residential development policy at 1620 Grand Lake Court, be approved.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Abel and second by Ms. Hoheimer. Mr. Dossi, once again.
Thank you, Mayor. This is in regards to a 2023 resolution located at 1620 Grand Lake Court. And I'll let Josh speak a little bit more to it if there's a council question. But this is one of those that was out there, I think, kind of in limbo back in time that came forward. So Josh can explain a little bit more if council has questions.
Okay, does anyone have any questions for Mr. Ray?
Just one. Do we have any others out there waiting, Josh?
Yeah, this is, excuse me. This is a slightly different topic, so there's been a couple that have come forward since the new policy was passed about a deadline to apply.
Yeah.
This is not really that. So if you remember, I guess almost 2.5 years ago now, when the city was setting up the two new TIF districts, South Residential and East Residential, several projects came forward before those were actually approved and had what are called inducement resolutions.
Right.
Basically, like, we're gonna move forward with this house before the TIF is established, and the city is promising that if you do approve a TIF, you're gonna give us the incentives to build this house. So there's 4 or 5 of the inducement resolutions that are still hanging out there. We have made contact with them. I don't think there's any kind of, statute of limitations on an inducement resolution. So when they come forward, I think that, according to those resolutions approved by council, we owe them, quote, our best efforts to include them in a redevelopment agreement. This project came forward finally. I am aware, like I said, of I think 4 or 5 others. I don't know where they're at in their build process, but I know that they have not gotten redevelopment agreements yet.
So let me hit on that for a minute then. So on the inducement agreements that you're talking about, you say there's 4 or 5 more of those hanging out there?
Yeah, I got a
And
list
those
here.
are people that bought empty lots in an area that is now a TIF district, but it was not a TIF district when they bought the lot?
That's accurate. Well, that they proceeded with, I don't know technically when they purchased the lot, if it was before or after, but I think it had to be after maybe, but they proceeded with their project under the assumption that the city would, quote, use its best efforts to establish a TIF district, and if it did, include their project in the plan.
But there's 4 or 5 that haven't even started their project. Is that the way I'm understanding that?
I don't know if they have started their project. I would defer to Nick if he were here, but Nick's been pretty ill, so.
Okay.
But yeah, I have a list from Jacob and Klein of the outstanding ones, and this is one of them.
And they've got no time limit on that. They could wait 5 years and let that property sit there empty?
I mean, Jim, are you aware of, like, there's no, through the end of the TIF, I guess? I mean, it's de facto.
Even though they bought it before it was a TIF district?
That's correct, sir. That's the
Okay.
inducement, that's the nature of the inducement resolution. But there's no, can I rephrase? There's no inherent sunset provision, right? That after X, Y, Z number of years, it just doesn't happen. There's already been opportunities in the TIF, so the TIF doesn't go away by its own operation after 7 years pursuant to the Illinois TIF law. So it's a good question, but
Well,
there's no
because
mechanism.
typically, when we enter into these TIF redevelopment agreements.
Sure.
Even in a residential TIF district, where there's a lot being bought and a house being built, there's a specific timeline on when that.
That's
And now
not-
we're hearing that it's unlimited, it's indefinite, there is no time limit.
I think these are a little bit of a different, I think what you're referencing is more of the corporate, large structure type of issue, like what would be used, not that we use TIF for, but like an Epic type thing where it comes in a big manufacturing project. I think this is a little bit different, but I'm not saying I'm not saying it's not available. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. I'm saying in these instances, to the best of my knowledge, it's never been a sunset provision.
Okay.
Is that correct, Josh?
Yeah, that's accurate. I mean, these inducement resolutions were done before the whole policy in TIF was even set up, and that's why they were inducement resolutions. And I'm looking through it right now, and no, I don't see any kind of sunset or deadline to complete a project.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else. Thank you.
Anyone else from council? Council, take your vote, please. I believe we're up and running. Motion passes 6-1. Chair would now entertain a motion for 10.5, please.
Madam Mayor, I move that resolution number 402-25/26, authorizing the mayor to petition for annexation of certain city-owned property to be annexed to Pekin Park District.
Second?
Motion made by Ms. Hoheimer and second by Mr. Abel. Mr. Dossi, I think there's been some questions on this, or Mr. Ray.
Yes, Mayor, I think Josh can answer the questions on this. I know there's been a lot of misinformation circulating out there, and if council has any questions, Josh will jump in and answer them.
I appreciate that. Mr. Ray, you want to say something first, or?
Yeah, sure. I'll just kind of summarize. So the city of Pekin has a corporate boundary. We annex property to that corporate boundary, and it becomes part of our taxing jurisdiction. Other taxing bodies work largely similar, especially special taxing bodies like a park district or, maybe a drainage district or whatever the case might be. So when the city grows, the library's boundaries automatically grow with it as a part of the city. The park districts does not automatically grow with us. A lot of communities do have intergovernmental agreements whereby if property is annexed to the city or the village, the park district or whatever else automatically grows with it. As far as we know, we don't have that with the park district. So after the Ludekin annexation, the Park District Executive Director approached me and said, hey, would the city mind annexing to the Park District? It does not mean this property will become a park. It doesn't mean anything other than that it will be within the Park District's corporate boundaries. And someday when somebody else owns it and there's taxable value, they will be able to, spread their levy out across that taxable value. So we're not giving up any control. We're not doing anything other than allowing the Park District to include it in their boundaries. And this does, by the way, include the Ludekin property and the previously annexed Gamblewood property. So I think, Cameron Benton is here tonight from the Park District if you had questions for him, but really it's just a procedural thing. It's their annexation. All we're doing is authorizing the mayor to sign the petition to let the Park District move forward with it, and they control the rest of that process.
I think an easy way to say that is when you get your tax bill and you see the city, the schools, the parks, then the people, when the subdivisions are built out on Ludekin property, they'll see Pekin Park District on their tax bill.
That's accurate.
Yeah, that is correct. Cameron, do you have anything you'd like to say or add, or we good? No? All right, very good. Thank you so much.
One other clarification, because this has been out there the last few days. The Park District does not own that
Correct. The
land.
Park District is not, we're not turning the property over to the Park District.
Correct.
So they can sell it to the data center.
Okay,
I'll say it.
That's good.
thank you very much, because that's where everybody was going, so now it's clarified. One other question for Cameron, does this have to come to the board to the commissioners to approve or anything after we do it? Which I think they probably would, but,
Yes, we have to pass an ordinance.
To your board?
Yes.
Correct. Okay.
okay.
Is that clear to you?
Yep,
Their
just,
board.
well, I want to make sure, and the other suggestion is, do we set up an IGA so we don't have to go through this again? If we have more property, I don't know.
Yeah, that's called an intergovernmental
Yeah.
agreement. That is so much easier.
Yeah, honestly, I try not to make policy decisions or give input on that. I do think it is an efficient, much more efficient process. And if you want me to talk to my counterpart over there, or however you guys want to work it, it is sometimes easier just to make sure everything's in lockstep and we go one for the other. But it's your city and you run it wonderfully.
We do,
so
don't we?
if this is the path we want to go as an IGA, we could get that done very simply. It is. The municipalities that I do, where the annexations happen a lot, it is a lot more efficient when there's an IGA and they just go in lockstep.
So much smoother.
Yeah.
There will be a forthcoming recommendation to the
Yeah.
city manager, the mayor,
I
the
agree.
clerk to do that, so.
I agree. Thank you. Thank you, Cameron.
It does make it easier. When I was, excuse me, when I was in Plainfield, we had that set up, so, yeah. So, excuse me, it does make it easier.
Yeah. Thank you so much. We
Yep.
appreciate
No,
that.
thank you.
Yeah.
I'm saying the ones we do have.
Council, take your vote, please. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you guys have anything more to say? Sorry.
Was this something similar that the library would have to do also?
No, so the library is an entity of the city, so they actually, like, in other communities, there is a separate library district that has its own election and its own taxing, like everything, but they're an entity of the city, so they automatically grow with us.
Okay, thanks.
Yes.
One thing that, in order for us to annex property, it has to be contiguous with property we already own. So, like McNaughton Park and Dirksen Park are contiguous with all these properties, so that's why we're able to annex it.
Oh, very good.
Cameron, when you said, I think you said contiguous to property you own, did you mean property that's already annexed to your boundaries? Or do you actually have to own?
Both.
Okay, you have to own the property next
Yes.
door to annex.
Yeah. Mm.
Interesting.
Yep. Well, I shouldn't say that. It can go either way. Either we own it or it's already annexed into the Park District.
And in this case, it's annexed in.
But it has to be contiguous. Yeah.
And when we do that, I assume that our requirement will be that it's only contiguous and
Yes.
not owned
Right.
to avoid any discrepancies. And in my experience, it's always been contiguous. It's always been, if it's contiguous, yes, we've expanded, they expand, all simple, all shall prosper. Very simple.
Perfect. Thank you.
I'm not quite sure how Tante Park became part of the Park District, but
Oh,
that's another story.
yeah, I think that was a few years ago, and who knows? I
Yeah.
kind of wondered why it was all the way out there, and it's
Couldn't tell you, but.
Pekin Park District.
What's that?
That was before you.
Yes, way before we, but it needs to be.
It's just there for a spot to hide the medallion, that's what it's there for.
Thank you very much, Cameron. Council, take your vote, please. Motion passes 7-0. Chair would now entertain a motion for seven, don't even go back that far. 10.6, please.
Madam Mayor, I move that resolution number 403-25/26 settlement agreement and release between City of Pekin and SFR 3-050 LLC. SFR 3 be approved.
That was a mouthful. All right. Motion made by Ms. Hoheimer, second by Mr. Abel. Once again, Mr. Dossi.
Thank you, Mayor. Just briefly, this is a company that's basically buys up properties and makes them into rentals. And they had a property at 1107 South Street that was in very poor condition, fell in bunch of code issues. Ultimately, the two attorneys agreed that it would be better to resolve this matter for the cost of the actual fines charged, which was $2,100 that the city filed liens on. And they did do the demo of that property on their dime, so we feel that this would be a fair settlement. Pay what the ticket costs are, and then we'll release the liens.
Okay? Perfect. Council?
Just one comment. If we start doing this, can we recoup the lien money or the cost to file and unfile the liens? I don't even know how much that is, to be honest with you.
I think that was all part of the
That,
settlement.
to settle up on the lien filing and everything? Okay.
I am not saying that this will be the practice for everyone, but with, the interesting part about this one is the demolition was done, and ultimately we are here for demolition.
Very good.
Yeah. Yeah, no, good, excellent question.
All right. Council, take your vote, please. Motion passes 7-0. Bless you. Chair would entertain a motion for 10.7, please.
Madam Mayor, I move that resolution number 404-25/26, rejecting all proposals submitted for solid waste collection, be approved.
Motion made by Ms. Hoheimer and second by Ms. Phillips. Mr. Dossi.
Thank you, Mayor. I did hand out to all council an in-depth study on the RFP that was submitted and regarding our costs. I think we've met with council a couple times and had conversations. If there's any other questions, I'd be happy to try to answer them for you tonight, but staff is recommending to reject the bids and retain the in-house service.
So before I open it up to council, a vote for yes is to reject all bids. Correct. Mr.
Affirmative vote is to reject. A negative vote, a nay, is to accept, which is,
Yeah,
affirmative vote is to accept, to reject, yes.
okay, okay.
It's easier that way, because otherwise.
Mr. Dossi, your presentation was very thorough, outstanding, absolutely outstanding. You went back many, many years, dug into it, and we appreciate that. So thank you very much. Does council have any questions? Mr. Fletcher?
So I have quite a bit on this. I've spent a lot of time on this particular issue. In general, I don't believe the city can run anything cheaper than a privately owned business, but in this case, this particular company, GFL, has positioned itself to be as close as a monopoly as you will ever see. And I have good examples that I'd like to go and show. So I own a business in North Pekin, which picked up my garbage, X-Waste, for years and years, and then GFL bought them. And I got a letter from them stating that, and I'm just going to read a little of it. On matters relating to service, scheduling, pricing, contracts, and partnerships, all operations will remain business as usual. In the future, we will communicate any changes by mail. They honored the price that I was paying with X-Waste for 6 months with no communication whatsoever, no letters. 6 months later, I have my new bill. It went up 10%, no communication, just went up 10%. Now, I will say they kept my same garbage people, which do a great job. They do a great job, but I believe that they're going to price us out of the market, and we will have no recourse whatsoever. Where I believe in-house, the 7 of us will have recourse. That being said, on the bottom of every bill that GFL sends out, they put in little fine print down here. Due to increased costs, your next invoice may reflect a price increase. May. Every bill. I have no control over it as a business owner. I have nobody else I can have pick my garbage up. So if they decide they raised it 10%, if they decide next month they're gonna raise it another 10%, I either gotta take that garbage somewhere myself or I gotta pay it. And I've had citizens reach out to me and tell me that Morton is cheaper. And one of my sons lives in Morton, so I had him send me their detailed bills. And yes, Morton can be cheaper only because they allow à la carte. It's $18.50 in Morton if you want your garbage picked up and your recycling every other week. It's $10 extra if you want yard waste, okay? So there you are, you're right back at what we are. So there is no savings. Morton's not doing anything better than we're doing if you want to include this full service. Now, going forward, I will say if the council decides to keep this in-house, I would like for the city manager and Simon, Solid Waste, to get together maybe with the employees that are down there, and we've got to do something about getting more efficient. I can't believe that we're keeping time cards by hand. Can't believe it. You should be clocking in, clocking out. Those vehicles should have GPS on them. We should know the minute they leave, the minute they come back. Okay, well, we need to start using it. Okay, well, I've heard things about time cards. I'm not getting into that. I'm voting tonight on whether we're going to keep it in-house or not. I'm just saying we might take a look at making it a little bit more efficient and then maybe even look into à la carte services. If Morton can do it, there's a chance we can do it. I don't know that for sure, but those are things to be looked at. I just wanted to come forward with real world, real life situations, and I think it would be a bad idea to take it away from the city at this time. Thank you.
Mr. Fletcher, I do want to say that I think that people like from Morton and here, they weren't comparing apples to apples. They were doing apples and oranges and, you know, tell us everything that you get picked up in the different prices. So thank you for bringing that out because I've talked to people and they're like, we pay more than you. So thank you. Mr. Dossi, I believe that you are looking into over 65 doing something?
Depending on the council vote tonight, yeah, we're looking at some ordinance change that will be coming at the next council meeting.
Yeah, yeah. So we can't, if it goes outside, we can't do this, you know. So just an FYI. Any other council? Mr. Nutter?
Totally concur with Mr. Fletcher. I probably got more calls about garbage lately, but that's good because it opened my eyes about how things operate. Like Mr. Fletcher says, there's increases in the small print and you have no control. We will lose a lot of control. I am not going to vote in favor of the GFL contract, but I will say that we need to establish, as much as I hate a lot of meetings, we need to sit down and pick the solid waste operators' brains. How can we do things better or worse or whatever? And let's see where we're at. There's a lot of opportunity out there. We just need to explore it. So, thank you.
And I do want to say, I'm in a unique situation. I live on a private lane and it is not super wide. So the garbage trucks, all three of them, as far as recycle garbage and yard waste, they back up that whole lane and it's a half a mile, I believe. I could be wrong about the length, but there's like 18 houses back there. They back up all the way, and I didn't get a clear answer on people that have private lanes. Do you have to take it out? Would we all have to take it all out to the beginning of our private lane or not? I don't know that I could do that to the rest of my neighbors. So it's just an FYI. Mine is a little bit different situation. Ms. Hoheimer, sorry, Mr. Abel, you'll be next.
As you probably all know, my husband worked in that department for 25 years before he passed away. If there's more than one man on a truck, it's either because they're being trained or they're on light duty. There's a reason for it. They're not just having fun. Sometimes if they get done with their route before the routes are all done, they'll jump on the back of another truck and help other people. I know my husband had to do routes when anybody was sick and they couldn't find anybody else to do it. I know he covered many vacations, as does Mr. Aerosmith. He covers vacations, covers people that are hurt. He covers people that have to leave to go home sick, for whatever reason. I think that it's a great department. I'm glad that we have in-house garbage, because we would never get the service from an outside vendor that we get from our own people, that we pay a good wage to, that spend their money in Pekin. So I will be voting.
Well said. Mr. Abel?
I think the majority of people in this town appreciate what we've got, because the one question I was asked the most, why are you even voting? What's wrong with what we got? They're happy. Why would we want to go outside and bring in strangers? He said, and you can't guarantee our people will keep a job. Like Mr. Fletcher said, 6 months, they changed it, didn't give any notice. They'll change anything. They'll move our people to Peoria or wherever. So I'm definitely voting to keep it in-house.
Anyone else? Mr. Hilst?
So I would say I was leaning more towards going with GFL from the very get-go of this. I have tried to keep an open mind about it, and I will blatantly say that pretty much all or the vast majority of any phone calls or emails I've got were from residents that wanted to keep it in-house, which was the complete opposite of what I thought at that time. And listening to what Jake said down there just a little bit ago, thank you for that little input. Just from the input I've got from the public and some other comments that have been made, I'm gonna have to lean this one towards keeping it in-house, which I quite honestly didn't think I would end up doing. But with that being said, I still have a couple questions. Efficiency being one of them. I know Jake just mentioned those GPS devices. I think that should be the city manager's responsibility to keep track of those if there's any questions about trucks and where they're at and what they're doing. Simon, just a quick question. So when yard waste doesn't pick up in the wintertime, what do those drivers do?
So they're helping to cover down on routes.
So then there would be two people on a truck?
Not necessarily,
No?
because we end up with a fair amount of people during the wintertime, because it is, I'll call it a lull, right? We're not doing the yard waste pickup. They'll schedule their off time, so they'll cover down on those who are taking some vacation time and stuff like that.
Or
But if everybody's at work and nobody's off?
If everyone's at work and no one's off, then they will assist
Okay.
on some trucks.
Okay, thank you. And I also want to hit on that interfund loan repayment, which was also brought up at public input. So this was something that was brought to the council back before Councilmember Phillips or Councilmember Fletcher were even sitting up here. And it wasn't just for solid waste, it's also for the sewer fund, about all this money that those two funds, enterprise funds, apparently owe the general fund. Now, we've never seen any details of that dollar amount. We've been told how much it is, but doesn't seem to be any documents to verify that, other than, well, they just paid a bunch of money back in the years and this is how much they owe. So back in that time, our financial consultant that was sitting out here that night, he did say, which it states in here, that auditors don't like to have that on the books. So that gives the council two choices. Either we can forgive that loan, or we can figure out a way how to pay that loan back. And that never came to the council to make that decision. Staff just arbitrarily decided to go ahead and come up with a plan on how to pay that back, and that's where the $20,000 a month is coming from, which is being paid back into the general fund, or general fund reserves, wherever it's going. And we're doing the same thing in the sewer fund for $200,000 a month. It shows in the budget, the current proposed budget, the trending that we're gonna have roughly, Eric, correct me if I'm wrong on this, roughly $700,000 in surplus in that solid waste department. That's what's projected at the end of this current fiscal year. And then we budgeted for, I think, $450,000 in surplus for FY '27.
So in solid waste,
Yes.
we have basically about $4 million, $4,001,000 of revenue, $3.5 million of expense for a total of $500,000 surplus sitting in the solid
That's
waste.
in the proposed budget.
In the proposed budget.
Right, and what about the current budget that's getting ready to expire?
Current,
We're projected at the end of this year to have, I think it said $715,000.
yeah, currently at this point, it shows $715,000.
Okay, so
correct.
we'll just
It-
round
it
that to
trends where it continues.
700,000.
Correct.
That 20,000 a month that we're putting back into the general fund that everybody says the solid waste owes.
Right.
Are we doing that for 10 months or for 12 months?
10 months,
Okay, so that's 200,000.
correct.
700 minus 200, where's that other 500,000 go to at the end of the year?
That is sitting in the balance of the solid waste fund.
Okay.
Their cash reserve.
So that shows that we're actually paying more than we really need to pay a month if we're generating that much extra surplus at the end of the year. That's not gonna change my vote. I'm just throwing that out there that when we look at these fees that we pay every month and where we stand at the end of the year on our expense and revenue, something to kind of take a look at. I won't carry on any further. I know it's a long night. That's all I have. Thank you.
I don't even think we're halfway through it. It's gonna be a long night. Anyone else? Mr. Nutter?
No, I'm looking something up.
Okay, we're good.
The next thing, we're good.
Let's see here. Council, take your vote. Yeah, there we go. Council, take your vote, please. Now, wait a second.
No means.
Yes is what you want to vote.
Yes means you reject the,
Affirmative
I'm
is
just,
rejecting the vote,
correct. I'm just,
or rejecting the bid.
The bid.
Affirmative,
no,
no,
no.
no.
Yes means we're rejecting the bid.
If you want to reject the bid, vote in the
Vote
affirmative,
yes.
vote aye or yes.
There you go.
And
You
to
want-
make it even simpler, if you want to keep solid waste in-house, vote yes.
Just about to say that.
Yeah. Motion passes 7-0. Pardon me?
Yes, we have no bananas.
There you go. Chair would entertain, thank you, gentlemen. I know it was a long night. Chair would entertain a motion for 10.8, please.
Madam Mayor.
I think before you go on, I think
Oh.
these are the beginning of, you can do them by omnibus.
That's what it says on my
That's on
sheet.
here.
Yep.
Yeah,
I
thank you.
move to approve by omnibus vote the following new business items: 10.8, 10.9, 10.10, 10.11, and 10.12.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Fletcher and second by Mr. Nutter. Let's see here.
We'll give
Mr.
you
Dossi?
consent agenda.
Mayor, these are all the demos that
Yeah.
the police department were getting prepared, and Chief Rainey could speak a little bit more on those if you have any questions.
I think he was very thorough with everything, so does anyone have any questions for Chief? No, thank you. Council, take your vote. Thank you, Chief, we appreciate everything. Council, take your vote, please. Motion passes 7-0. Chair would entertain a motion for 10.13, please.
Madam Mayor, I move to approve by omnibus vote the following new business items: 10.13, 10.14, 10.15, 10.16, and 10.17.
Motion made by Mr. Fletcher and second by Ms. Hoheimer. I think these were pretty self-explanatory as well with the bids coming in, but Mr. Dossi, do you have anything?
Yes, Mayor. Simon Grimm, Public Works, can speak to these, but these are the mowing districts in regards to the city properties that get mowed on an annual basis.
Okay. Anyone have any questions?
I believe there was a savings this year. Is that correct?
Correct. There'll be about $34,000 less than we spent last year.
$34,000 savings.
Very good, very good. All right. Council sorry.
Thank
Mr.
you,
Nutter.
thank you to Simon, thank you to John for the conversation this afternoon to clarify some questions, and I think moving forward, we know the direction we got to go on some of those. So
We do.
thank you very much for listening and responding.
I got calls as well, so I appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Grimm. Council, take your vote, please. Motion passes 7-0. We have now come down to any other business to come before the council. Mr. Dossi.
Thank you, Mayor. Real quick, hang on, let me pull my notes up here because I forgot what I was going to say already. Just a reminder, I sent it out, I believe all council, Kroger is going to be hosting on the 23rd. They're kind of like grand reopening or for all that they're doing there. And I just want to speak out knowing from just personal experience, having roughly, putting an age on myself for sure here, but 40 years in law enforcement. Shout out to Chief Rainey and the investigations in the police department. Major announcement this week with the arrest on the Robert B. case. In particular, Seth, he never gave up on this. We've had multiple conversations over the years, and I think it's said best at the press conference that, you know, what happens on TV happens within an hour, but these types of cases are very technical, and I can't speak more highly of our investigation unit and the abilities and capabilities they have to bring matters of this to rest and finally bring justice on this. But there's another major arrest. I'm not going to go into too much detail on that because, like they do, they usually make this arrest into another arrest. So I'm going to leave it at that. But they had some major work accomplished this week that really shows why they are the best at what they do. So just a shout out to them. And that's all I have.
Well, I do want to say, Chief Rainey, I've said it numerous times, but you guys are second to none, and I appreciate everything that you do for the city, and that was a major arrest. You didn't give up, and thank you. Do you have anything you would like to say?
Just, thank you, but I'm just part of that team, and we have a great team, and we always work together, and like we said at the press conference, yes, it was spearheaded by our department, but from the first couple weeks, the state police and the FBI were involved, and we work with them throughout the process. And you don't solve a case like this on your own in today's day and age. It's a concerted effort through local, county, state, and federal, and that's what we did. And I just appreciate all of their resources because there was thousands of man hours put into this case over the last decade.
Very good. Thank you so much. He is, isn't he? Mr. Dawson, any other staff?
No, Mayor. Thank you.
I once again want to say thank you, Mr. Dabrowski, for the budgeting. It is not an easy project, not an easy job. Pardon me? Yeah. So thank you very much. Mr. Hilst.
So, just one thing I want to bring up is the electrical aggregation letter that's been sent out to several people in town. I myself have not received one. I don't know who all up here on the council has or has not, but I've had several phone calls on that. So I just want to clarify a couple things that I've been asked. Was it Direct Energy or was it the city of Pekin that sent the letter out?
Direct Energy.
Okay, so the question I'm being asked then is why does it have the city of Pekin's logo on their letterhead?
In our contract, they're authorized to use that as part of their, package so that people know that it's a legitimate program.
Okay,
We didn't get them the updated logo file, that's my fault.
okay. And then the other question that was asked, apparently, and like I said, I haven't read it yet, but supposedly there's language in that letter that says that they have to opt out by a specific date. And it was my understanding you could opt out at any time you want.
Yeah, so there's kind of a period, right? So there's the initial opt-out period whereby if you opt out within the opt-out period, you can then rejoin the program at any time that you want. If you don't, you can still opt out at any point, but then you have to wait a year before you can join an aggregation program again, and that's all set by state law.
Okay. And like I try to tell everybody that's called me, if it helps out or if it doesn't help out, because I don't have the answers to all these questions they're bringing up. Sometimes we get just as confused about this as they do. That's why I didn't even vote for it the last time. But there is, if you go to the city's government webpage on their homepage and you go click on residents at the top, there is a specific area there for the electrical aggregation, and it has about 9 questions and answers under frequently asked questions section. And whether that helps you out or not, I would just encourage you to read those also. That's all I have. Thank you.
Never mind. Mr. Nutter. Yeah, I thought.
Save that thought.
Yeah.
I echo Mr. Hill's concerns. I didn't get a letter either. And I've got people in my neighborhood that never got a letter. So again, if Direct Energy saying why we're not getting them, or they got a messed up mailing list.
Yeah, so I'm trying to investigate that. I've also got one example of, I don't think you'll mind, Councilmember Abel. Councilmember Abel's letter is kind of opposite of what it's supposed to be. He got a letter to, if you're a solar user, you have solar panels and you're involved in a net metering program under a whole different program, you are not automatically enrolled. And just like if you have a small business and you have your own supply contract, you're not automatically enrolled. That's not the case at his residence, but nevertheless, he got that letter. So I have no idea what's going on this time around. I am trying, our broker's Good Energy, I've been really good. They're communicating with Direct Energy to fix problems as they come up. And as I'm starting to see perhaps a reoccurring issue, that might point to like a problem with Direct Energy's mailing as opposed to just a one-off, issue. I've talked to several people over the phone about this topic, this go around. Direct Energy, according to them, they're sure they put out the mailings all at the same time. They don't do it in phases, whatever. They put them all out. And I have heard people that got them 3 weeks ago and people that got them today. So I don't know if it's a post office thing.
Or haven't got them at all.
Or haven't got them at all. So, yeah, I mean, I don't have any answers for you, but certainly not the city. We're still trying to, on behalf of the residents, figure out what's going on, though.
That's all I have, just the aggregation thing. Again, 100 questions.
Oh, I know most people have left. Thank you all who are still here. I want to reiterate that we got it. We figured it out. We don't want a data center. We know we don't. It's not going to happen. Nobody's getting bribes. There's nothing behind the scenes going on here. And quite frankly, if you are concerned about these kind of things, I highly recommend you get more involved in the community. Volunteer to be a part of one of the many, many committees that makes the city work. Go to the zoning board meetings, because that's your ground zero on this stuff. Learn how it works and be involved. Remember that when people cast aspersions, when they think things are bad, therefore they assume they are, that you're discouraging people from taking an interest and volunteering to run for office and serve in these capacities. So ultimately, accusations without receipts just damage all of us. I will go back to say that we ought to all boycott Facebook. It's not good for us. It's bad for our mental health. We should stay away from social media. And I could go on, but I know we all need to take a break soon.
We got a lot of work to do.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Fletcher.
I have nothing, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Abel.
Two things. First of all, I don't have solar, so I don't know why we got the letter. Josh is working on that. But I will say one thing. Direct Energy is in Texas. They farmed their customer service out to Guatemala. That's all I'm going to say.
Thank you.
Be prepared to sit there for a while. Second of all, Eric, when the school bus thing is settled out, middle of summer, we find a few bucks laying around, let's buy 2 more microphones. You guys aren't bouncing mics around all night.
They
Watch
are.
these Peoria and Peoria, they all got their mic. I mean, I think we can afford them. I think, you guys haven't dropped one yet. I'm proud of that, but.
That would be nice. Look, that'd be nice.
That is all, Mayor. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Ms. Hoheimer.
I'd just like to say that I'm glad we got a lot of work done tonight.
We did.
And I was a little bit disappointed to have anybody question mine or anyone else sitting up here, our integrity. We do not get paid enough to be treated that way. And as far as putting money in my back pocket, I'd sure like to find it, because all I'm finding is rocks. That's all I have. Thank you.
Not coal at Christmas? I agree. Karen, I think Mr. Nutter said something last time about questioning our integrity, and I'm going to say it again. When you question someone's integrity, you really need good reason behind it, and it's just accusations, and it's very, very hurtful, not just for us sitting up here, for our city. We are trying to do the best job that we can with the information that we have in front of us. We really were trying to do our due diligence, and as a matter of fact, I'm still studying about data centers on why is it so bad? It's changing monthly. Let's get to the bottom of everything. Just because I want to. I want to know what is going on in our world, because if we don't want data centers, we need to put these things down, because this is what it is. So that, and starting May, I don't have an exact date because I said let's get through everything, but starting May, I am going to start having coffee with the mayor. And it's been said in here that, what is your vision? Well, I have a vision. And I want everybody to know that vision, and that vision is to grow this city, and that vision is to move this city forward. We are doing it, but I want to have a one-on-one with a lot of you. A couple of things I do want to say. If the council all is there, we will have to open it up as a regular meeting, and then we'll jump right into opening it up to everyone. If it just happens to be me, then we don't even have to run it like a regular meeting, but I want to have a moment with the mayor, or coffee with the mayor, or whatever we want to call it. I think that is a good thing. We had a few, and then we kind of got, I'm just going to use the word bashed, got bashed over having coffee with the mayor. So I will tell you, I bought the coffee, not the city. So I will continue to do that if we continue to have coffee with the mayor. Yes. I was going to say, who said Mary? I don't know that we can. Yep. Yep, there you go. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Chair, we entertain a motion for 12.1, 12.2, 12.3, and 12.4.
Madam Mayor, I move that we go to executive session 5 ILCS 120/2C, 12.1, 2 collective negotiating matters between the public body and its employees or their representatives, or deliberations concerning salary schedules for one or more classes of employees. 12.2, 11 in parentheses, litigation when an action against, affecting, or on behalf of the particular public body has been filed and is pending before a court or administrative tribunal, or when the public body finds that an action is probable or imminent. 12.3, .36, setting a price for sale or lease of property owned by the public body. 12.45, purchase or lease of real property for the use of the public body.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Fletcher and second by Ms. Phillips. I do want to say that when we come out of executive, there will be voting, so we will open up new business again to vote on a couple of items. So Chair would entertain a motion, or excuse me, council, take your vote. Motion passes 7-0. We will take a quick 5-10-minute break.
You want the good news or the bad? Want the good news or the bad news? Cubs. They scored 7 runs. No, they scored 7 runs. They gave up 13.
Who was saying what? Don't look obvious. You want to make sure they're not waiting out in the.
A woman?
They'll probably fill us.
Who is she?
I think she's Jody Bradford.
Yeah, sure.
On here.
They don't know we
Roll
turned it
call.
off.
Okay.
Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Councilmember Hilst?
Aye.
Councilmember Abel?
Aye.
Councilmember Nutter?
Here.
Councilmember Fletcher?
Here.
Councilmember Phillips?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Hoheimer?
Here.
And Mayor Burris?
Here. Having a quorum, we will conduct business. We're under new business following the executive session. Chair would entertain a motion for 13.1, please.
Madam Mayor, I make a motion that resolution number 415-25/26, approving settlement agreement between the city of Pekin and former employee be approved.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Hilston, second by Ms. Hoheimer. I don't believe we need any kind of explanation, Mr. Dossi, since this was in executive.
No, I mean, obviously, Thank you, Madam Chair. If there's any questions, obviously, we'll answer now, but we did pretty much exhaustively cover this in the executive session and prior closed sessions.
Okay. I don't know if we can vote on here, or are you going to take roll? Council, take your vote, please.
Working now.
Motion passes 7-0. Chair would now entertain a motion for 13.2, please.
Madam Mayor, I make a motion that ordinance number 4393-25/26, approving an agreement for the purchase and sale of real property with Christopher and Jody Brackett to acquire 14.38 acres at 2223 Zion Oaks Road, be approved.
Second?
Motion passes, or excuse me, motion made by Mr. Hilston, second by Mr. Abel. Mr. Dossi, do we need to explain anything more about this since it was in executive?
No, I just think clarification. I know that there's been some rumblings out there. This was part of the data center thing. It is not.
Yeah, thank you.
So this has to do with the road.
Yep. A very long journey for a beautiful road that we plan on having one of these days.
So to
Mr.
clarify,
Vasselli- oh, excuse me.
if
Mhm.
I'm sorry.
No, no.
For anyone who's watching, what we're talking about is purchasing 14.XYZ acres. That'll be a part of the Veterans Road development should we approve the purchase.
Correct.
Not the final, but one of the final pieces. And you know, this has been a long time coming. This road, actually, Veterans Road was talked about and started in 1966. So this will continue on, connecting 474.
I'll just say that I'm not going to support this because I'm not willing to spend the taxpayers' money and pay $10,000 more an acre for this property than what it was appraised for.
Okay? Anyone else? Because I wanted to ask Mr. Vasselli if he had anything more to add.
I mean, I don't. I really don't, Madam
Okay.
Mayor. We did discuss this in closed session.
Yeah.
It was vetted, and good points remain on all sides. Yeah, I guess it's just here for a vote. That's it, Mayor. Thank you.
This will be purchased with money in the fiscal year '26 budget, correct?
I defer that to the finance director, who does an excellent job of giving presentations.
Okay.
Mr. Dabrowski.
This would appear in the FY '26 budget.
Okay.
The answer is yes, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
And the budget's already in this year's budget.
That is correct.
It's the cold medicine.
Yeah. Not, all right. Any other questions, comments, or concerns from the council? Council, take your vote, please. Motion passes 4-3. Chair would now entertain a motion to adjourn.
Madam Mayor, I make a motion that we adjourn.
Second?
Motion made by Mr. Hill, second by Ms. Hoheimer. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. It's actually an hour, almost an hour earlier than last time. Appreciate everything. And last time it was Mr. Dossie's anniversary. Well, how long before you think we're bashed?
I'm going to give it till 10 o'clock.